Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fun and eventful episode of Autodidactica. I am one
Woohoo!
of your hosts, Matt Paul.
And I am three of your hosts, Glenn Clark.
Yes, he is actually three small people in a trench coat. I don't know what you call them. Three children. There you go. Let's just
Right,
call them
three
that.
children stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, trying to get into a
Yeah,
rated R movie. And that
yeah,
rated
and we
R
just stayed
movie
this way. Yeah.
being America right now. Uh,
Oh,
Our topic
yeesh.
is the fun topic and very general topic, knowing your hosts here, just go all over
Uh-huh.
the place. We called it gun rights, was what we had come up with. But this is pretty much going to more than likely go all over the place.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
as noted by Glenn's background, there, gun violence and gun control. We're going to be talking gun reform
Right.
and
It's
how it
guns.
pertains
It's
to American politics currently as well.
right. Right.
Yeah, we were talking about Star Wars. We'd much rather be doing that, but
Right.
now that we're here, I don't know what gun control looks like in Star Wars. It seems like everybody and their brother in there has got
Everybody's
a
got a
blaster
gun.
rifle.
It's Texas. It's I don't know. The NRA runs that galaxy. That's why
Yeah,
they're always at war.
I would
And
expect maybe Coruscant has no end to the bureaucratic red tape to obtain legal firearms there.
I don't know. I don't
But
know.
most
Uh,
of the worlds we see in Star Wars are backwater worlds for the bulk of
True. The
the
Wild West.
movies.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um,
But I don't know. Can I just say, like,
yeah, go
current
for it.
events, like, what makes this, to me, a difficult topic to, and we were supposed to record this last Thursday, which was right after Charlie Kirk was assassinated or whatever. I don't know if it's like
He had a target and he killed the target. That's an
yeah, like
assassination.
he's dead. And like just everyone, the whole world has gone insane, or at least America has. And so it's a very sticky current event,
Very
I
tumultuous
guess.
times indeed.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
So
yeah, not, I mean, with one side going after the other, retaliation, rhetoric all over the board.
right, right.
It's
It's
been
crazy.
it's a mixed bag of emotions across
Mm-hmm.
corporate America and media
Mm-hmm.
coverage, people losing jobs
Mm-hmm.
for comments that may or may not be ill perceived. It's
Mm-hmm.
I think Jimmy Kimmel was just
He was just
banned.
well, I don't know if he was fired.
He
Like
was
I've seen
suspended
he was
indefinitely.
they took it off the air indefinitely, his show. And I've watched the clip. It's hardly even a joke. Like it's not. He's literally just pointing out what's actually
Yeah, I
going
think the
on.
same day
That
a Fox pundit said that we should euthanize homeless people, and he still has his
yes.
job.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. He
it's
and that was
crazy.
much more dramatic than Jimmy Kimmel
Yeah, I don't have the
literally
quote in
just
front of me.
pointing out that I do. Let's see. He said, I thought I had that quote right up here. Well, I remember the gist of it was basically he was pointing out that the Republicans are bending over backwards to blame this on anyone but themselves when
Yeah.
clear we it's objective truth. The shooter was not a left-wing person. He came from a MAGA household. He had some MAGA values, homophobic crap. He had, you know, meme stuff.
Although
Like
I
not
have
a
no idea what's true anymore because the conspiracy machine is already largely at work, and I haven't had time to dig through all the crap because
right. No, it's crazy. Like
it
that's
is
the
quite possible
issue.
that he reports are saying that he was living with a trans roommate and they're apparently lovers.
And see, I
And
heard that was bullshit. Like they just like because they didn't even wait. Like,
yeah, well, and it's already been
Trump, a
exposed
good
that
president.
Russians are like there's already been Russian misinformation machine
Oh yeah.
going and spreading like accounts spreading anti like
Ah,
calling as if they're right-wing Americans calling for retaliation against the left. Basically,
Right, right. Even
Russian
though the left
accounts.
had nothing to do with it, like,
No, nobody had
um,
anything to do with it except the shooter.
exactly, exactly. And it's not the entire right, it's not the entire MAGA movement.
No, it
It's
never,
this
it
guy.
rarely is.
But they wanted to blame trans people because they're really trying to, Nazi the
Demonize.
trans people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's why they came up with all the bullshit about trans. Well, maybe he's not trans, but his lover is. It's all about the trans people. Had
Yeah,
nothing
and
to do with trans
the
people.
alleged text release between the suspect and their trans lover slash roommate um
Uh-huh.
reads so much like a freaking chatbot. Like,
Right. Ha.
like
Yeah,
I
it's
have no
all.
idea what to believe. I'm gonna hope that I mean all I can do as a little cog in the wheel is just
Mhm.
hope that the justice system does its job right,
Yeah.
which
Mm.
don't have a lot of faith in that.
Right.
Interesting times.
Mostly.
Not 6 months ago, about 6 months ago was the
Mhm.
Luigi Mangione thing. So we've
Was
got
that
two.
only 6 months?
I feel like it was a little more. I thought it was in the winter time, like December or
Yeah, I feel
something.
like it was longer ago, but
Yeah. Uh,
and they just dropped the terrorism
the
charge from
terrorism
him
charge.
and the first degree murder. Now it's second degree murder they're
Yeah.
trying him for. And that's good because why the hell? Like it's not terrorism. They just and there is a an example of I believe a left-wing shooter. Like, I read something like the shooters on the who usually do it, they use meme language when they'll write meme shit on a bullet. And if it's left wing, they're gonna write a manifesto. They're gonna write some whole like very well thought out, here is the
Yeah.
problem, here's how I'm addressing it. I just think that's funny because that's exactly what Luigi Mangione did.
Yeah. I mean the
But
memes that were written on or that were found on the bullet casings for the Charlie Kirk assassination. That was just the one that's like if you read this you are gay. That one keeps me
right.
up at
I mean,
night.
come on. There proof right there it's not a left-wing killer. It's
I
in my
mean,
opinion. It's
yeah, and so like I don't know, man. We don't know all the facts yet. And I
right,
don't know
right.
if they'll ever really be made public. This is all amidst the Epstein files.
Hmm.
Shit is crazy in
Yeah.
America right now. There's so much espionage. There's so much blatant cover-ups that
Hmm.
are
Yeah, you don't know
seeming
what
to
to
happen right before
believe.
our eyes. And
Uh-huh.
then
But
in the
that's the
midst of all of
point.
this, yeah, we're getting murdered by our own citizens, not by immigrants,
Hmm.
rarely by
Right.
immigrants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, we're getting, our kids are getting killed in schools.
Hmm.
The same day as the assassination, there was another school shooting.
Hmm.
I almost said mass shooting. I
Yeah,
actually don't
which
know what
no one's talking about.
I don't know what the factors are that make something a school shooting versus a mass shooting. Or I mean, I guess then it would just be a mass
Well,
school shooting.
if it's I
More than
think
one
if
person
it's
that makes it a mass
I
shooting.
want to say if it's three people or more, but we
Three's
live
a
in the
crowd.
future. We can Google it.
Yeah. No, and I don't know if there is
Um,
any concrete distinguishing factor there or
mhm,
not. I'm sure certain collators of data have come up with their own distinguishments there, like Wikipedia probably distinguishes it as this, Fox is that, CNN is that, so on and so forth. I think
mhm.
it's less like isolated incident or like somebody is out there to kill as many people as possible. And
Right.
like that's what makes it a mass shooting because you're going for casualties, you're going for body count rather than a single person.
Right, which is why you take like a military grade assault weapon to kill as many people as quickly as possible,
Right. As
which
so
is the
many do.
only purpose of those guns.
Right. They're bona fide tools for killing.
Hmm.
And so yeah, so here on Autodidactica, we will most certainly, as we always do, be solving the problem of gun violence in America on our little
Right.
2 hour podcast. We will most certainly by the end of this
There
have
will be
all
no
of
more
the
gun violence in
answers.
America. We're gonna.
We're going to be getting calls from the ATF tomorrow about implementing
Mhm.
our policies.
Yeah,
Um, uh,
absolutely.
so as with everything, we're a couple uh, we're a couple Texas boys that aren't big fans of the pew pews for the most part.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, my do you remember your first? I mean, you're a
Oh,
little bit
yes.
older than
Oh.
older than I. But do you remember your first experience like hearing about like a mass shooting?
Oh, I thought you were gonna ask for my first experience with a gun.
Oh,
Mass shooting, I would say Columbine.
you were calling, yeah. So you heard about Columbine. Do you remember
Yeah.
like where you were when you like heard about it? Like not necessarily
I
exactly, but
was
where you were at in like life, like
I
and what you
was
thought about it then.
I was in high school
Gotcha.
and I was physically in class whenever it happened and people were already talking about it. Like
Did you have to like? Did
it was
they probably didn't put it on like lockdown or anything like for like 9/11 or anything like that.
no,
Not in
no.
your, because that was in Colorado and you were in Texas.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Uh-huh.
but it was one of its, it was largely attributed to be the first of its kind.
Uh-huh. And they
Uh,
just keep doing it now. It's
yeah,
it's just like Hollywood. They can't do anything original. Oh well.
yeah,
The people writing the world.
yeah.
They
No,
said,
I mean,
let's do Columbine again. That got good ratings.
it's actually kind of sad because I can't remember my first because
Oh,
like they've been
no, that is
happening for
sad.
as long as I remember. Like,
Uh-huh.
I don't, maybe Sandy Hook. I think it was Sandy Hook.
It probably
That was like the
was.
first high profile
Mm-hmm.
one. And then it just, it felt like it started snowballing. And I have to wonder, like,
Mm-hmm.
were these just, it can't be that they just weren't getting covered before
No,
Sandy.
see, that's what I think. It wasn't like all the goddamn time after Columbine. It was like there would be incidents, but they wouldn't be like we have numerous school shootings a day now, it seems like. And I mean, it's so common the news doesn't even report it
I mean, and
anymore.
some of them are, I think reaching a little bit and sort of, what do you call that? Like rating farming. I don't know what you
Hmm.
call that. That's a very millennial slash Gen Z term.
Hmm.
But because it's such a hot topic right now. Because I mean, I went to high school and we didn't have any mass shootings.
Right.
But we had isolated incidents where firearms were involved, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was at least once a year, if not twice a year, and probably more times than we heard about. Like
Hmm.
I know one kid when I was a junior, like shot himself accidentally
Uh-huh.
with his gun that he's bringing
Yeah.
to school. Accidentally discharged. I think he had it in his waistband. He was like getting out of his car and shot himself in the leg.
Right.
And they
What a
cleared the school out for
doofus.
that and sent a
Hmm.
letter to all the parents and stuff. And so like I feel like
See,
sometimes, some dude gets with some dude's girlfriend and that dude's gonna kill that
hmm.
dude and
Hmm.
he shows up with a gun, maybe not even during school hours, but on school property and tries to kill the
Yeah.
guy. And so sometimes it's a little more of a nuanced, I don't want to say it like this, but like a high school thing. Um, but I don't have the time to keep up with every single reported school shooting anymore.
Right. Well, yeah, there's too many of them. And yeah, like what you're talking about back in the good old days, people that was the bigger problem was just people bringing guns to school and getting caught and making threats, Like it wasn't always someone actually shut up the school. Like I had a guy threaten to shoot me in high school. And my mom called the school. It was very humiliating, and the teachers mocked me. But, you
Oh,
know,
we got a little
it
sissy
was
boy over
back
here.
then. You don't want Glenn to get shot. Like, God, the fuck is wrong with you people?
Be a man.
Yeah, it was just that, and then I think after I graduated, almost right after I graduated, they started putting metal detectors in the doors at schools, and I don't know if they still do that.
They do at some
Feel like
schools.
the last several times I've walked into a school, there weren't metal detectors that you had to walk. The NRA probably had them get rid of them. Oh, you can't stop people from bringing guns into school?
Yeah,
Savage!
right.
You get rid of those
No, the
metal
only school that I
detectors. They
went to that had
violate our
it was
rights.
uh Lakeview.
Uh-huh.
My little brother's school, he they installed some metal detectors, but
Yeah.
only at the main entrance where most kids would go in, and then Skyline High School. So a couple high
Hmm.
schools around here I'm aware of that implement some form of metal detector preventative measure to keep kids from bringing guns to school. Because yeah, I remember once a friend of mine was getting harassed by another person, and I was discussing it with a person that knew that person better than I,
Hmm.
about how to approach stopping the harassment. And they warned me, they were like, before you do anything, just know that they've got a gun in their backpack that they bring to school every day. And I'm like, sweet. All right, I guess we're gonna go with an avoidance measure here,
Right.
and unless
Yeah.
it escalates.
Hmm.
And that's what I did. And there, you know, I mean, these in high school, people who harass other people, as if you avoid them, sometimes the world just works. They give up. It's not worth it for the person's time to keep tracking down somebody. They'll pick
Hmm.
on somebody else.
Yeah.
Uh, if you give them the satisfaction of making a scene about it, that's what gets them off usually.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes you can't avoid an altercation, but when they have a
Right.
but
But
uh,
usually you can.
you might
Usually
want to
you
try.
can walk away from almost anything.
Yeah,
Sometimes but if someone's actually got a gun out in their hand,
yeah. Usually,
you gotta
you lose.
just yeah, just
Yeah, it's usually,
run away and
what do you
hope
want?
they don't shoot you because
Yeah,
there's not much you can do.
right. Yeah, I was
Which I
always
think
taught
is
that if you're getting robbed, to just give it up. Your
yeah.
life's more important.
Yeah, I know exactly. And I've been in that situation more than once, being robbed at gunpoint and just giving them what they want.
Yep.
Um, one time I was like my sister and I were doing stuff with friends and went back to my mom's apartment and a guy we were in separate cars and so I get out of my car and a guy in a mask points a gun directly at my chest. He's right there, like it's at my chest. And, I don't remember how old I was, old enough to be crazy enough to think, just size him up. It's like I've had martial arts training, I've had gun defense training. Can I take him? This guy's scared. If I grab he's not going to be ready for it. But then I heard my sister scream, and I looked over and I'm like, oh, she's got one too. And I
Yeah,
was
nothing
just
you can do
like,
about that.
yeah, no. And I was just like, give them everything they want, Val. Just give them what they want.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's because that's what you do. Because it's like, if I were to try to, if I, I could get shot trying to fight a guy who has a gun with my bare hands. But if I do that and my sister's got a gun on her too, I could get her shot. Like they're gonna shoot and run if they think they're in trouble. I mean, that's what you learn in martial arts doing gun defense is don't. Unless you absolutely know these people are gonna shoot you, don't risk it. Because even just trying to fight them could get you shot.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
totally.
like you might have gotten through it just cooperating. But if you
Yeah.
try to fight them, that's what gets you shot,
Yeah,
ironically.
if
So
they
you have
uh
to
if they steal your
know they're
car,
going to
that's why you
shoot.
pay for insurance.
Yeah.
If they steal your phone, that's why phones are relatively inexpensive items
Uh-huh.
nowadays. And
Right, right.
you know,
That and Moore's
no-
Law.
Yeah, something you can budget for. Uh,
Uh,
but that's why all of those things are there. But there's no, I mean, there is life insurance, but it doesn't help you if you get shot and
right.
killed.
Right. It's
Um,
not a video game. It's like I have a
yeah,
hundred
there are no
coins saved up. I
respawns.
can I can get a new life.
Yeah, no, there are no
Like
one-ups in life.
Mario. Yeah.
And
Unfortunately. Not yet.
not that we know
Well,
of
sometimes
anyway.
there are.
Yeah. But no, so I mean, on the subject of, gun violence, I mean, I asked my friends some of these questions, like just pertaining to gun violence. One of my friends who doesn't have a lot of care for politics necessarily, he,
Hmm.
recognizes that shit's crazy, but
Yeah.
he's not too vocal about anything. His solution was just like, his is kind of what many Americans would consider scorched earth and draconian. He was like, take away all the guns. There's no more
Hmm.
gun violence. And so that is one stance
Right.
on because I think every American, every person uh, that has a little bit of a soul uh,
Hmm.
would say that we want gun violence reduced.
Right.
You know,
In an ideal world, there is no gun violence because there's no need for it. Like, if you have to defend yourself, like that's why I don't think take away all the guns. I don't think it would ever work in America, but I don't want to get ahead. Of your outline or
no,
what
that's
you have
perfect.
planned?
That's where I was going. I was like going to ask like in your idea that that's his ideal world is
Okay.
just cold turkey take away everybody's guns, and
Uh-huh.
most people would say yeah that'll never work.
Right.
Um,
Well, and I would love to live in a gun-free world, but
right.
yeah, I think in the United States, that's, there for one thing, like it is a myth, a lie, call it what you will, from the outrage machine, like that the Democrats are trying to take away everyone's guns. That legislation has never been put forth. Like, no one has tried to take away all the guns. That is an extreme bit of propagandist bullshit. But if someone did, I don't think, because it's constitutionally protected your right
Yeah,
to
it's
bear
codified.
arms. Like, let's, you know, y- another discussion there is the fact that it goes on to say a well
Regulated militia.
regulated militia
Yeah,
is what it's talking about. You have the right to bear arms. You have a right to in a well-regulated militia. And well-regulated militias, what they would do, like you'd have to have your gun inspected if you're in the militia, and if you were not taking care of your gun, they took it away. That's how it worked. So it's like responsibility is also codified in the Constitution, but no one ever, all the people who think they have to protect that law, even though no one is trying to take it away in reality, um, they don't they don't want to look at that part of it. They want it to be every baby needs a gun. No, a well-regulated militia, but it's been hundreds of years that we've been in this country. It was militia that fought the
Revolutionary War.
Revolutionary War initially. Like that's where the soldiers came from.
Yeah,
So
largely
it's
defectors
part
from
of
the
our
British,
culture.
the
Yeah,
British
yeah,
Army,
yeah. There, I
American
mean,
colonists that
hmm.
were in the British Royal Army that were essentially like, yeah, we're getting shafted.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah. But I mean, it goes back that far. Like
yeah,
you can't go against that bit of culture to the degree that you just get rid of all the guns in anyone's fantasy. And aside from that, no president has the power. Like they always like Sky would always laugh at the annual Obama's gonna take your guns ammo sale. Like, because that wasn't even on the table, but no president has the power to do that.
not yet.
Like, right, right. Let's,
Because in the
oof.
wake of Charlie Kirk assassination, you've got several Republican lawmakers, the same whistleblowers about Obama taking your guns, are now calling to make a registry of Democrats and take their guns.
Right. A group that does not do like it's always a red like I don't even know what to call them anymore. Are they conservative? Are they MAGA? Like those seem to be two different things to me. It's like the MAGA movement ate the conservatives. Like
Yeah,
I don't even know. There aren't like I think of conservatives, they still would like get on board with public opinion. You know, the MAGA movement gives no shits about the opinion of they're not trying to win anybody's votes. They're trying to stop you from voting. So, I don't even know what to call the group that does most of the shootings, but
fanatics.
yeah, they're fanatics. And they're definitely not trans people. Like, I mean, it's
No.
that's who Trump was initially calling to take the guns away from. And even the NRA is pissed at Trump.
Yeah, the
Like
NRA
like
stepping up for
it's
trans
like
people was not
right,
on my
because
2025 bingo card.
well, because the NRA literally they have one agenda, and that is
Sell
to
guns.
make sure everyone has guns.
Yeah.
Whether you're mentally ill, whether you're on the terrorist watch list, like I
Yep.
find that ridiculous.
It's
That
reprehensible.
yeah, and I mean, you have Republicans who have pushed this agenda for the NRA, you know, to because they
Lobby.
made it where absolutely if you're mentally ill, you can get a gun. Absolutely if you are on the terrorist fucking watch list, we are going to make sure you can get a gun.
You got the tools of your trade.
Yeah, and you know, it makes sense for some people to not be allowed to get guns. People with a history of gun violence, illegal gun violence, I should say, because, you know, if you're in a war, if you're a police officer and you're in a gunfight, that doesn't, to me, that is gun violence.
Yeah.
But it's a whole different category of gun violence.
Yeah, those
Um,
are what we call war crimes.
right, or just war.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
War is
in
a crime.
war, you're shooting people. If you're a cop and somebody pulls out a gun and starts shooting, you're gonna pull out a gun and start shooting. That to me doesn't make you a menace to society. I think if, you know, if you're just a dude walking into a high school with a machine gun, well, I mean, at that point it's too late. Like, society has failed you. Society has failed those children.
No,
That's
I
the
saw a
thing that
comment the
needs
other
to be
day.
prevented.
Yeah, no,
What?
I saw a comment that pretty much summed up. I mean, it was a breath of fresh air in that, like, oh, that's what I'm feeling. Like this comment, like, summed up what I was feeling. You know, with all of this,
Uh-huh.
you know, here we are, as I said, solving gun violence in America, um, and that's a huge load on my 30-year-old mind. My 30-year-old liberal mind is like, how can we make everybody stop hurting each other?
hmm
And you know, so this don't want to shut down my PC. I somehow just clicked all the buttons necessary to do so. Um, you know, that's always, you know, it's on my mind. I constantly need distractions to distract me from the crushing weight of the awfulness in the world. And somebody said that we lost as a society the first time that a kid was shot in school, and
hmm
we did nothing.
Nothing. Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and
That's
prayers.
the we solved gun violence. Thoughts and prayers. Now it's
Yeah.
God's problem. And
Yeah,
he's not doing shit.
right.
Like
No,
just to
he seems to have abandoned us. And
right, if thoughts and prayers would have worked, it would have worked. You know,
yeah,
by now. Uh, God would have Jesus would have come down on a cloud and
because
solved gun problem. No.
that is what happened in Australia.
Oh,
In Aus
Jesus
in
came
Aus
down on a
No, no,
cloud and
yeah, no, that's where it all
they
happened. The
took
whole
away
New
the
Testament
guns.
that actually happened all in
One
Australia.
gun, one mass shooting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no,
And
all it
that
took
was
was
it.
one. And
One. And that's all it should
fun
take.
fact, I looked up a decent amount of this in preparation for this
Yeah.
podcast. Uh yeah, that guy got the Obama treatment for doing that. Their
The
prime
Obama
minister, He was
Oh.
ostracized. He committed political suicide by pulling the strings together and rallying lawmakers
Hmm.
to
Take
um,
away everybody's
take away,
guns.
largely restrict access to firearms.
Uh-huh.
And that was their first mass shooting. And
Hmm.
they'd had gun violence in previous years, and they had gun
Right.
violence in following years, but nothing to the scale of, I think it was like 21 people in
Hmm.
that mass shooting. I could have the numbers wrong. You know, I've got lots of numbers in my head for shooting stats, but it took one, and they fixed it. And now
Hmm.
there's, some speculate that there's this percentage chance that, like, basically gun violence was on the downward in Australia already. So some
Uh-huh.
people think, how much did the laws actually have to do with it, or was just
Hmm.
this the natural progression of reducing gun violence year over year? And was that one shooting the outlier to all others? And so
Hmm.
how much did the laws actually do, aside from to actually impact it? And we'll never know, because that's what they did, and
Right.
this is where they're at. And I'm sure I haven't actually looked into conservatism in Australian politics to see if there are any decriers of the in place restrictions. I'm
Hmm.
sure there are people that want more free access to firearms, but
Hmm.
they have some of the strictest gun laws, and
Yeah.
they have reduced gun violence. But where we failed as Americans is we had Sandy Hook happen, and instead of being spurred into immediate change at the death of children,
Hmm.
nope, we started cooking up conspiracy theories that this
Oh,
was just a
yeah.
Democratic hitman that was sent in to radicalize the left and push for more gun control
Oh,
lobby.
right.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it was
you
staged
guys,
and it was actors.
it was
That
actors. No
bullshit.
kids, no kids died because there weren't
God, I
any kids. They were all actors. And so instead of being spurred into change, we blamed liberal media, liberal leaning media, which is all centrist. We don't have liberal
right.
media
We don't
in the
really
United
have an
States.
extreme
Yeah.
left-wing anything in the on the airwaves. Like they
Yeah,
think
our left wing
extreme
is
left-wing is
middle.
just doing a fact check.
Yeah.
Like
Literally, literally. And and that is MAGA's approach to everything, is if we just bombard you with bullshit, you don't
hmm.
have time or energy to fact check us on everything.
Right. Yeah, because there's
And
so much.
so they spread it like wildfire. You try to fact check them, they just tell you get owned, lib, and you're just like, oh, right, I'm arguing with a potato.
Right,
Let
pretty
me go back to
much,
living my
pretty
life.
much. You're
And
not arguing with a critical thinker. You're not
no,
arguing with someone who's
oftentimes not. People, as you and I have said before, people have their beliefs and they draw that line
mhm.
in the sand. And
Right, beyond which they will not think.
I will not think beyond this line. And so
Hmm.
they start at a conclusion and then try to work backwards to find
Oh
evidence,
yeah, and make it make sense.
only to find evidence supporting the antithesis to what they believe, and then
Hmm.
they try to spin that as being fake news. And
Hmm.
so that is the danger in starting at a conclusion. Here at
Yeah,
Autodidactica, we do not do that. Uh,
right.
we start at the facts. We want gun violence down. Now, how do we
Hmm.
get there? We failed
Right.
as America the first time. The
Hmm.
sentiment, we're already desensitized to mass
Unfortunately,
shootings.
that's a horrible thing to be desensitized to.
Yeah. There was
But
another
you,
post that said our souls weren't meant to see mass shooting headlines and then scroll a little bit and see funny reel and then scroll a little
hmm.
bit and see mass shoot. Our souls were not
Oh
meant
yeah.
for that sort of emotional whiplash.
Hmm.
And I wholly agree that
Yeah.
at least my soul was not built to not feel.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's a little too much. But sorry, I didn't
Yeah,
mean to interrupt you a moment
definitely.
ago.
Oh, was I interrupted? I don't
I don't
recall.
know. I was just rambling.
Um, I will say though, like it's kind of like there's an us versus them narrative too that
Yeah.
like plays into literally everything these days. Like everything seems intended to divide us. Like when I was a kid, grown-ups didn't really talk about who they voted for, and it was considered rude to ask. Like you were literally taught not to go around telling people who you voted for. Like that's a private thing. You do it in the voting booth and you go on with your life. But now it's like it's because of Fox News. Like honestly, whenever Fox News became a thing, you know who the Republicans and the Democrats are based on what news they watch, and what news they regurgitate.
Yeah.
And that I feel like that's where it really started, like dividing our country so much, at least
Well, because
during
they came
my
about money
lifetime. Yeah.
rather than journalism.
Oh yeah,
Journalistic
because that's
integrity
the
is just
problem.
gone.
Yeah, and you no longer have like laws to maintain a fair and balanced presentation of the news when it comes to politics. Like
No,
there
yeah,
used to
the
be a law before Reagan that basically said, anytime you give to one side, you have to give the exact same time to another side. You, as the news, do not take a side. You
report
present
the
the
facts.
facts.
And if you're going to have
And
commentators, you have one for
yeah,
each perspective.
yes, with equal time down to the second.
Yep.
And that was great. And I would love for that. I feel like that, like bringing that back would be part of a solution. I feel like bringing that back, you turn down the heat in the country. You turn down the outrage machine by a lot if the news can't have an opinion. Like if the news can't take a side other than here are the facts. And here's what the Republican candidate has to say about the issues. Here's what the Democratic candidate has to say about the issues. Now you can make an informed decision at the polls. Like it's not the news isn't trying to piss you off and get you scared of the enemy. Like Fox News is the worst offender at that,
Well, and
in
they're
my
not news
opinion.
anymore.
They're not news. Like
Yeah, they're
legally,
Fox
like
Entertainment.
they have to have that on there that's entertainment because they've been sued for lying so much and yet people still believe them. And then, people who watch only Fox News think that like CNN, for example, is the exact same as Fox News but for the left. But it's not. Because if you watch all of them, like the sin of CNN and other legacy media is the forced both sides narrative. Like they are too centrist. They want you invested in a race thinking that either side could win and it's all the same. They're both doing this. They're both doing that when they're just not like I
So
don't know. But
are
yeah,
you
it's
complaining that we don't have any left-leaning media to
no, what I'm
counterbalance?
complaining about is that we aren't regulating the news in a way that I think is necessary for
And what's
because the
the
news, like this free speech is one thing. The
right?
press, I believe that the press has a right to say whatever they want to say, but I feel like it should be based in fact or there should be legal consequences. That's what I feel like. I feel like
Yeah,
if they're
because
just trying to turn you to
yeah,
one
because
side or the
it's
other,
called
without
when you make up something that's not true about the other party and it harms
uh-huh
them, there is a legal word for that, and it's called slander.
slander or
And
libel if it's in writing.
yeah, and so yeah, I mean, the fact that there seems to be, I mean, there could be legislation, there could be laws at play that just aren't being enforced. You see that all the
Hmm.
time when it comes to some of the, I mean, let's not sugarcoat it, the deadlier issues in America right now, which is
Yeah.
enraging news broadcast fueling
Uh-huh.
enraged citizens
Hmm.
to and inciting violence, essentially, division
Yeah.
and the violence that comes along with the division.
Hmm.
When you draw lines in the sand like that, and then you agitate it, it's like we're two ant piles when we're really connected underground.
Mm-hmm.
And you get above ground, they're
Right.
like they want to steal your property, and
Mm-hmm.
then they kick the ant pile on both sides. And yeah, it's the 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 media's prevalence right now is just it's just fueling the minds of people
Mm-hmm.
that are already in those. This was my main point. I think a lot of Americans are scared. I think
Yeah,
I think
and
I think the
that's
primary reason why most Americans, even liberal Americans, Democrat voting
mm-hmm.
Americans,
No,
don't want
everybody's
to give up their
scared.
guns
Right.
because, at the end of the day, as you pointed out earlier, AR-15 semi-automatic assault rifle
Mm-hmm.
is a tool for killing,
Mm-hmm.
um,
People.
for killing people
That's not for
and and
hunting deer.
and boar. It's for hunting boars. You do need that for wild pigs. Uh, you can't do it with hardly anything else. Um, but no, Americans are scared.
Mm-hmm.
We're scared all the time. We're scared to go to a movie. We're scared to send our kids to school. We're scared to go to an
Mm-hmm.
airport. We're, scared to go to a bank. We're scared to go. Hell, I'm scared to get on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared if somebody cuts me off and I shake my fist at them gently, because then they might shoot me. Um,
Yeah.
you know, we're scared all the time, and we have a pretty good police response time,
Yeah.
emergency services and whatnot, but that doesn't help once you're already dead. And
Right.
so we are constantly fed violence in the media, and oftentimes only violence because that's what
Mm-hmm.
sells.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to
Exactly.
be the guy that blames, video games
And
and
oh
movies
well,
and
yeah, because
whatnot.
that's bullshit.
But I won't lie and say it hasn't, become more and more prevalent
What
for
vi gun violence in video
gun
games
violence
and
in video games and movies. And I
well,
think
but
that's
it's always
less,
been there.
I think it's less
Cowboys,
a
you know.
contribution and more of a effect.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't think it's fueling the fires of gun violence. I think it's more so like we're all just more okay with gun violence in the modern age because it's everywhere already. And
Uh-huh.
uh, because I mean, gun violence didn't start when Call of Duty was first released.
Right.
Um,
And like I str grapple with that sometimes as a writer, just because like I have a character in my campy fantasy series, Legends of the Nod, named Longshot, and he's a cowboy, and he has this horse that turns into a giant gun that goes along the his arm and like clamps onto his back. But like even without that, he's like got guns. He's all about guns. I have another character in there who's all about guns. And I'm like, am I promoting this the way that like what you're talking about? Am I a part of the problem now?
no,
But to me, yeah, to me, I think, I grew up watching all kinds of shit like Star Wars. Everybody's shooting everybody, and I have never shot anybody.
right.
Like I've never gone out and gotten a gun to go shoot all of my enemies. And
Most
I
people have
watched it
not.
growing up. Yeah, it's that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you
It's
have to be, yeah, there's got to be just like Beavis and Butthead famously got in trouble. Like an episode was banned because of what was it? Something like I don't remember
satanic.
anymore. No, it was fire.
Oh,
Like I think one of them was always like fire, fire.
fire,
But yeah,
fire,
but like,
fire.
I think some kid set some other kid on fire and then they blame Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah,
And I'm
sometimes
like, all
kids
right,
are just stupid.
exactly, because I'm saying if you watch Beavis and Butthead and then go set your friends on fire, I mean, that's not because of Beavis and Butthead. It's because of that band I set my friends on fire. But no,
Yeah, no. Hey, good
no,
shout out
no.
because I was thinking it.
But no, I mean it's because
No,
that
and there
kid
was
was
the
gonna set someone on fire someday. It just was gonna happen.
yeah, there was the anime that we watched, and I told you the story when we watched it, called Platinum End, where very first
Oh
spoiler alert,
yeah.
if you're into anime and watch this show, Yeah, Platinum End is the show, and spoiler ahead. Yeah, first episode, main character tries to kill himself jumping off a building. And
Hmm.
instead, as he is the main character, he gets saved by an angel, and now he's put into this battle
Right,
royale to
right.
become the next god, essentially, and his
Uh,
angel saved his life. Yeah, a kid, I think in Taiwan, I don't know, some Southeast Asian, one of those smaller countries, uh,
uh-huh.
jumped from a freaking skyscraper because he saw I don't know
Yeah,
how
and he
true it
wanted to
is.
go
He
into a
wanted he
no, it
wanted
probably it
probably
happened.
happened. I mean, I
You
doubt he
know,
posted on Facebook before he went and jumped. So I mean, it had to have
uh
been on his recently watched or something,
hmm
and can't help but make the correlation. But
hmm
that show is also largely about depression and suicide. So
Right,
uh,
right.
because the criteria for and
Hmm.
anyway, I don't want to get
But
off track. But
I
yeah,
don't feel like
no, that's the parents'
that
fault.
kind of thing is actually contributing
Yeah,
to gun violence
we
in
all did
real
it. I mean,
life.
we all watched shows we weren't supposed to be watching at the age
Hmm.
that was recommended for kids to be watching things. Uh,
Yeah.
like Beavis and Butthead, I'm pretty sure, I don't know what ratings were like while it aired, TV age ratings, but I would
But
have
they
to
didn't
assume
have
that
them.
that's like yeah, modern now, they would probably rate it like 14 plus,
Yeah, yeah. But
which I
back in
still
the
think,
90s, they didn't
you know,
have that shit.
and as a parent, if you
It's just
watched
it's
it
on TV.
and you think your kid is dumb enough to try any of the shit in there, yeah, maybe don't let your kid watch it. But
Yeah, if
yeah, no,
Timmy
it's the
is a
parent's
moron,
responsibility
let him
to,
watch My Little Pony.
yeah, totally.
But
Yeah, Teletubbies or something.
yeah, just nothing else. Just
Yeah,
Mr. Rogers.
Pee Wee Herman.
So,
Uh,
right, right.
yeah, fun times that Pee Wee Herman. Uh, but yeah, no, so yeah, no, gun violence is not cannot be attributed to video games or to Hollywood
Hmm.
media.
Yeah, I mean, so I think
But
toning
my
it
point was
down
that
there
ratings
wouldn't
sell
help.
and violence sells. Video
Yeah.
games and movies have figured that out, and now the news has as well. And
Hmm.
so, you know, gone are the days of feel-good stories. They do that during the daytime when we're all suffering at work, and
Hmm.
then you get home for news at
Uh,
5, and it's like
yeah.
13 died in this today, and two died in that. We're looking for a armed robber suspect. He looks like
Hmm.
this. It's just nothing but that. Um, I don't even watch it. I get all my news
Oh, neither do I.
from independent sources.
Hmm.
What little that I do consume. Um,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but most of my news comes from social media, and then I just go
Hmm.
off and fact check what actually
Right.
happened.
That's kind of what I do. It's like you get the gist of what everybody's talking
It's
about,
faster.
then you go dig.
Yeah, it's way
Find out
faster
what
than waiting for the
really
news.
just happened. Yeah.
And but yeah, so we all want gun violence to go down. So Glenn, how do we make that happen? Gun
Well,
violence in America.
thoughts and prayers,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Thoughts and prayers. That's how we
Yeah.
do it. No, I don't know, because I mean, this is an interesting thing too. I think this is where I was going when I started ranting about the media and how they're trying to divide us and all that. Like, because I talked to a very conservative friend a while back, um, about gun stuff. I mean, it was after some big shooting. It might have been the one in
Las
fuck.
Vegas.
Where does Blue Beetle live?
Oh, I don't know.
Texas, down south, Beto
Oh,
O'Rourke.
yeah, no, I know the one you're talking about. I'm
Why the
trying to
hell
remember
can't
the
I
name of
remember the
it.
name of the city? It's like
Yeah, it's like towards El Paso.
it is El Paso. Okay, I think it's El Paso.
Uvalde. The
Okay, yeah,
Uvalde
well there
shooting.
was okay, that's right. So there was mass shooting down there.
Yeah, at elementary school.
Yeah. And that's the day that Beto O'Rourke, like there's a politician who said it.
Yeah.
Trump is another one, but he didn't have any legislation
No, he was
and
just pissed.
he could not have done it. But that day this
He's
happened
from the town.
very close to home. Yeah, his hometown. So of course he was pissed. Of course, when they brought it up at that debate, he said, "Hell yes, we're going to take your guns." And I'm like,
which
"Well,
doesn't get you elected.
Beto just lost. That's the end of it. He
Yeah.
can't do it, but nobody knows that. Like the people who are voting against him do not know that he can't just do that. But he said it. But yeah, so I think it was around that time when I had
Well,
that
these guys will believe
conversation with this
anything.
friend. But it turns out like what I learned there talking to my friend, just having a reasoned exchange on Facebook where normally everyone like I always try to do that if someone is civil enough
Yeah,
when
displaying
they
some level of
attack whatever I
civility.
say, you know. I will return with a civil argument or whatever. I'll tell them what I agree with that they said and what I disagree with and why. And that's, I think, where you find the common ground. And really, what I was learning talking to people on Facebook who disagreed with me was that we weren't really in disagreement, that there needs to be reform. There need to be sensible gun laws. It's kind of like the media is fabricating this extreme that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah,
You know, it's like the people who vote for Republicans don't really want, a gun just free for
a
all.
lawless society.
Yeah, and the people on the left don't really want to take away everybody's guns and leave us defenseless.
Gun rights are civil
And,
rights, LGBT
yeah,
rights, and
right. And
yeah,
yeah, exactly. Like all these different issues too. Like you talk to a conservative, have
yeah,
a conversation, not a fight, and you will hear a lot of your same values coming right back at you. And you'll realize the thing is, you really just disagree about what
is being done or not done.
sensible gun laws are.
Yeah,
Like that's where, and that
the
doesn't need
nitty
a
gritty.
fight. That's a conversation
Right.
that needs to be had in legislative bodies. But everybody wants to politicize and divide, and it's just not helpful. Like that's the biggest problem
Yeah, no,
is the
because hardly
political
anything has been
divide in the
passed.
country. Hmm.
Yeah, I know. And then when something does get put on the table, it's blown way out of proportion
Hmm.
or just improperly reported.
Right.
There was
Usually the
a
latter.
TikTok from a California sheriff who allegedly resigned over this,
Uh-huh.
but he basically made a PSA to his fellow man locally, saying like the government is trying to take away our ability to protect you, and uh, basically the he was talking about this one proposition that was in the state legislature that would add a duty to retreat clause to their castle doctrine,
Mm.
which is basically like if the letter of the law was or proposed law was that if somebody is invading your home, you're supposed to leave if you can rather than shoot them and call for the authorities. And so
Mm.
essentially, this police officer felt like, this was an overstepping and like, yeah, I looked up the law, it failed. So it never went through. They shut it
Mm.
down in California of all places, the liberal haven or
Hmm.
whatever. But the law had good intentions. The drafter of it was talking about he wanted to reduce gun deaths from non like what he considered to be non like where the assailant didn't have a gun, he was just robbing your home and you
Hmm.
shot and killed him, and now the law can prosecute you. If his law would have gone through, you killed an unarmed man even though he was in your home. And I'm like, yeah, see, that's not I don't vibe with that. If somebody's breaking into your house
Right, because you
That's
don't know if that person is armed.
no, no.
If you're in that, yeah.
And how are you
Uh,
supposed to, look your kids in the eyes? You lay them to sleep and be like, "Don't worry, sweetie. If somebody breaks into the house, we're gonna jump out the window and run." Like
right.
that
Hey,
doesn't
I
make me
did
feel very
that.
safe. Oh, I know you
Right.
did. It
I had people break in my house and I didn't know if they had guns, so I jumped out the window
as you will.
and ran and called the police. Um,
But yeah, no. The sheriff was basically that's what he was pissed about. He was pissed that he may end up having to come to a bloody scene of a home invasion gone wrong and
hmm
arrest the homeowner.
hmm
And that's what he was concerned
Right.
about. And I think there's a case somewhere here in the United States that I saw where this like 87-year-old man like shot and killed an invader. And it's she was pregnant too. She was pregnant and robbing homes with her boyfriend. And I'm like,
That's not
great.
funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just like you don't expect it. Like you don't
No,
think
no.
about
Yeah.
pregnant women breaking into people's houses.
hmm
Oh, you just don't think
Now,
about it.
I highly doubt she was like showing at that point. She was probably
Right.
still early on in her pregnancy, which for the men out there, women are still capable of doing things during
Oh yeah.
pregnancy,
Oh yeah.
including and up to robbing your house.
And
And
definitely kicking your ass. Don't piss off a pregnant woman.
no, no. But you still do stuff for your pregnant wives and girlfriends. Um,
Right.
but no, he shot and killed her. Shot at the boyfriend. They were both fleeing, and that's where the legal
Ah,
case is
they're
coming in.
fleeing.
They were fleeing,
Okay.
and he opened his back door up and shot them while they were still on his property. But
Okay,
she was shot
see,
in the back. And
I do have a problem with that. I think if
and
they're
see,
running
it's
away, they're no longer a threat to you.
oh, they're absolutely still a threat.
That's when you call the cops. If you can see their backs and they're running away, they're not turning around. They don't You don't need to shoot them. To me, my opinion, you call the
Right, and it's
police.
a gray area to me
It is.
because you just went through one of the most traumatic experiences of your life, which is
Uh-huh.
having two people that are not your friends or family in your house at night, and
Yeah.
you were able to scare them off for now.
Right. Right.
But it's still going to take the police about 5 minutes, 5, 10 minutes to get there,
True, they're
and
gonna get away. Like,
or they're going to come back, especially
yeah,
if you
you
did
don't know
shoot
if they're
at
gonna.
them
hmm
and you missed. Like they could very well be right back with their guns drawn and with a more
Right.
tactical approach. Now, typically, I know
But
that they don't typically, they usually run
yeah,
away.
I think it's highly unlikely they'd come back. I mean, that's
Yeah,
why burglars are sneaky. They come in the dead of night when all the lights are off. They're not gonna come back to get you when they
but
know you are on to them. They're terrified of being caught. They're not coming back.
right, right. They
That's
don't
my
want to face
opinion.
consequences.
Uh-huh,
And
exactly. If they
and
can get
yeah,
away, they're getting away.
and so it is a legal gray area though, because like, do you charge him with like, full-blown murder and sentence him to
Mhm.
10 plus years for you know, because the dude, he's like 81 or something. Like
The guy
he's
who
late.
got broken in on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, he does. He had a 22 revolver, which is a pea shooter, and he was assaulted too. Like he was assaulted and was able to get his revolver and chase them out of his house and shot them. And so
hmm
his adrenaline is high. He just got punched in the face and tossed to the ground.
hmm
And you
hmm
know are you gonna
Right.
convict this guy when
To
what law did he
me, yeah.
break? Like he broke the Christian law of do not murder, I suppose. But
Right.
these are
But
our laws. And
yeah, it's a definite gray area.
so those are the sorts of conversations that deserve to be had between across party lines is where do we draw this line? And for things like
hmm
that, I think it's a totally case by case basis. I
Right.
don't
I was
think
about to say that's why we need judges. Judges come in
yes.
and they're like, okay, I think given the circumstances, either, yeah, that was excessive. Like if you chase them down.
Yeah,
And
see,
like
chase
you're
them down.
no longer anywhere near your property when
Yeah,
you
you're
get to
like
them
down the
and shoot
block.
them. Maybe the judge would say, maybe no. You're definitely
You'd have to prove some
shouldn't.
reasonable, like if they said if the assailants as they're running away or said we'll be back,
Yeah,
then you kind of have a
like
right
comic
to.
book villains. I'll
Yeah,
get you next time.
yeah.
Bam.
No,
No,
because I
you
mean
won't.
that there's a reason why when you're involved in a violent crime, like when
Mhm.
you're a victim in a violent crime and your offender gets put behind bars, you can opt to get notified when they get released.
Mhm.
Because if you still live at the same address and they know that, they could very well be coming back for you.
Yeah, for
That's
after
why they
years in
have that.
prison and all they think about perhaps is revenge and not reform,
Yes,
not
exactly.
what did I do and how can I live my life differently, but
Especially
that
since our
motherfucker
prisons
put
are
me in jail.
built for reform. They are built for
Exactly. They were
repeat
built,
clients
yeah. It's
uh,
not built to
to
make any,
create
no one
criminals.
wins.
Yeah,
No one
that's
is
a different
better.
episode.
Oh yeah, it
Uh,
really is. I think I did write that one. I don't know if I wrote that one
yeah,
down.
prison
Okay, go
reform.
on. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so when it comes to talking about sensible gun laws, that is where if you just talk to your neighbor, you'll realize, like you said, it's not so much that it's not the right to bear arms that we disagree on. It's
Mhm.
where do the lines lie?
Yeah, where
Because
lies the line of
these are not
sanity?
black powder rifles that fire 1 round per minute. These
Right,
are
right.
these are semi-automatic weapons of killing, and that is what
Yeah.
they are. That is a fact. You can call them, some people like to paint them as tools,
hmm
but they are weapons, and they are largely for self-defense, is what most people will cite the reason for their owning of firearms. There are some
Right.
hunters out there, but the majority of gun owners will more than likely cite self-defense
Yeah,
as the
yeah.
primary reason for having it.
hmm But
And
even
so,
then, it's like some of those weapons, it's like, so self-defense, you're going to destroy your own home with this weapon. You shoot a robber with that thing and the wall is coming down. It's like you don't need a fucking bazooka to defend
no,
your
those are just
home.
fun.
You don't, right? Like someone goes and hunts wild boars with bazookas. It's like there's nothing left.
Yeah,
What's the
no.
point of hunting boar? You're just murdering pigs. But yeah, you don't
And
need
blowing a lot of
weapons of
money.
war. Like, because you're at close range, if someone is in your house, like a gun will do, a pistol will do. In
Yeah.
my opinion. You don't need a fucking machine gun.
I mean,
But
I think, there's a conversation to be had there as well about weapons of war. It's a good
mhm.
term. You should patent that. Uh, but
Yeah, I invented it.
yeah, gun invented war. Uh, but because, there is still the argument, and I know you love the one about defending yourself against your country, because that's what the Second
Oh,
Amendment is there
Jesus.
for.
Right.
And so
But
you're going to need
again,
weapons of war. But I think there is a compromise to be had there, because does every citizen need the right and ability to purchase rocket launchers and flamethrowers?
no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't
You
think so
know,
either.
I think honestly, what you're talking about, I mean, let's go back to the original thing, like
Yeah,
a well-regulated militia. I
yeah.
think, yeah, that could be your pass. Have a machine gun. Because look at where we are as a nation.
Dude, it would be
Some
crazy to
fucking
try to start
how.
a
But
well-regulated
like,
militia. How
right,
would
but
the
we might
United
not
States
have a
view that?
choice. I mean, there
Like,
are militias. Texas has a militia.
yeah, that is true.
Um, it's just like
You'd have an FBI agent. If you get over
you
the
have
20 members, you'd have somebody coming
uh-huh.
that is not your friend very fast.
Yeah. But I feel like the left has had the argument forever that what the hell, why would the United States attack you? But now we have a president who wants to have a war with fucking Chicago,
And LA.
like and LA. But it's
Yeah, the
like
National Guard is in LA right now.
yeah, but he illegally changes the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War, and the first target they want to go after is Chicago.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we do need to rethink our well-organized militias, and maybe those well-organized militias, like if you are a active member of a well-organized state militia, then I think I would be okay with you owning a machine gun. You know, weapons of war, because we we may need to defend against armies.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. You know, like hopefully not, but
Well, I mean,
it's getting
it's such a
scary.
crazy concept because only 250 years ago.
Right.
That's a blip.
Yeah.
And only 250 years ago was this country founded and these
Right.
principles set forth with the
Uh-huh.
foresight that it may happen again, that
Hmm.
a king may take power,
Right.
and
And
we are a commonwealth of the people
right. We
that
don't
serve
we
no
don't
king.
take kindly to kings around here.
Yeah. And so yeah, that's a gray area, but mass all of the mass shootings in recent history have not been done by any of these weapons of war.
Hmm.
They've been done by semi-automatic rifles,
Yeah.
some of them modified for full auto, which is illegal.
Hmm.
Um, and there's
Right.
no shortage of conspiracy theories involving some of these that I tend to want to know more on. More specifically, I went down the rabbit hole of the Las Vegas country show shooting,
Hmm.
where they were banning butt stocks after that.
Hmm.
Bump stocks, I mean. Uh, and man, some of the footage from that night is pretty sketchy. But we've got another episode for that too. Conspiracy theories coming up.
Oh, hey,
Uh,
that's right. I'm scared of that
I'll save that
episode.
one for that one. But it sparked the firearm debate yet again. Back
Uh-huh.
when I guess we cared more, because now it just seems like everyone's like, oh, another school shooting happened today. Oh, where was it this time? Oh, yeah, it was Minnesota. Oh, yeah, thoughts and prayers. And anyway, do you
Hmm.
have my 1098 forms? Uh,
Right.
just onward. Yeah. Anyway, I'll get a number three. Just on with our lives. Um, but yeah, so sensible gun control. You know, I'm all about that. Now, defining it, that's where things get tough and where the floor seems to fall out in the legislature is nobody can agree and or compromise on what can get a bill across. Like you said, there needs to be
Hmm.
more red flag laws.
Hmm.
Um, the highest indicator of future gun violence is domestic violence
Hmm. That
charges.
makes sense. Right, which is why I think people with
Yeah,
those
absolutely
that
ban
kind of
them.
record, those should be banned. Like,
A 7-year ban on purchasing firearms,
hmm.
with the right to bear arms only restored by a judge
Hmm.
after a 7-year period with your probation officer
Right.
recommendation,
Right.
completed
It's
courses,
like
reform.
it's hmm.
That's the
It's
only way you're getting the right to have a gun again.
right. And I like that because it's really not very different at all from regulating operating a motor vehicle.
Right.
You know, too many DUIs, you get your license revoked. You can no longer legally drive a car. Like,
Yeah.
sure, you might be able to get in a car and drive, but there are consequences legal consequences that deter you from doing that and if it doesn't deter you, well, you're going to jail where we will make sure you are not behind the wheel of a car. Just like license and registration. I think that should be something for gun owners because that's what works with cars. No, it doesn't 100% solve the problem, but it definitely puts a huge dent in it. It gives us more immediate legal recourse to
Yeah.
something. It gives more consequences. Like if you have an unregistered gun, there are consequences for that. You're less likely to pull it out and wave it around. Like doesn't mean no one will. And I mean, that's the thing too. I feel like people are like, if the solution isn't 100%, it's not worth it.
Right.
And I
Right.
think,
There's going to be flaw. They're human laws. There's
yeah.
always going to be flaws in them. And there's always going to
Yeah.
be cases that slip through the cracks, outliers, and the common uh, thing is, gun laws only take guns out of the hands of law-abiding gun owners. And I'm just like, yeah, you're right, but it also decreases the flow of guns into the illegal market because all of those guns were initially bought legally and then somehow
Hmm.
ended up in the hands of criminals who own them illegally.
Hmm.
And so, it's a bit of a long game and it's alarming to some people. Uh, who because the problem with uh registration is now there's a federal registry of
Hmm.
gun owners, and the problem there is just getting legislation passed is the Venn diagram of people who trust the government and
Right. True.
gun owners is a circle,
But
and
I mean,
those
if you're
people who
planning
don't
to
trust the
shoot
government.
the government anyway, like what? Like what does it matter?
I
Like,
mean, but it is scary because that's registries are how Hitler was able to seize power so quickly.
hmm.
He had a registry of every, Jew and every
Right.
minority and was able to just go down the list and go door to door and evict
Uh-huh.
entire neighborhoods. And, so if there's a gun registry,
Uh-huh.
like Republican lawmakers, some on Twitter have said, let's get the registry of Democrats and take their guns. And
Right. Well,
and obviously they can't do that, but they are
no.
taking steps to be able to do
Uh-huh.
whatever they want. And so it is a
Yeah, it's
scary time to
scary.
bring up the idea of a national registry of firearm owners.
Hmm. Well,
I
I
can't.
think maybe perhaps in the current political climate,
Yes.
you wouldn't want to do that because you
No.
have, Diet Hitler who wants to do bad things with registries.
To take
But I
emergency war
think,
powers and stay in
right,
office.
right, because people don't like him, like that, because people protest. I mean, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
Anyway,
the protests were insane recently. Like the amount of
fuck
people
that
that
guy with a
showed up in
cactus.
DC.
Uh-huh.
Now DC statistically does have some of the highest per capita gun violence. It's actually number one
Uh-huh.
in the country. But, this is, we discussed briefly the other day. My main stance, like the long game is certain, like this will not stop school shootings tomorrow, but,
Hmm.
you know, just a more generalized education, like a stronger pouring of resources, federal resources into education overall.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
my perfect America is nothing like what we have today.
Oh,
And so
same.
to get rid of gun violence, it's like a 17 billion step process.
Yeah, no, and I like what you're talking about is not, like you're saying you have more educated people and that
Yes.
will eventually cut down on gun. That's not directed at guns, it's directed at people. And I feel like you're correct. The more
Yeah.
educated we are, the more healthy we are, the more financially secure we are,
Yes.
the fewer of us are going to be desperate enough to go shoot people up.
Yes.
Like
No,
if
because
you
the
have access to medical and mental health care,
yep.
if you can don't have to worry about how you're going to pay for it. If you are educated and you're able to think outside the box, if you're able to look at your other options, articulate what you're going through clearly to people, communicate, like I feel like
Yeah, and
that does
have the
more for
community.
anything than to cut down on gun violence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not just feel like you're speaking into the void when you speak out about your problems,
Hmm.
in school and whatnot. I grew up in a house full of alcoholism, and
Yeah.
I guess much to my disdain, I guess I wasn't hiding it as good as I had hoped,
Hmm.
um, because I got called into the light counselor's office several times and given
The light
resources
counselor.
on, yeah, she's like the counselor that has nothing to do with your classes or anything or your
Ah.
education. She's the one who somebody reports you and then they're like, hey, this kid's going through it. And so
Oh,
they
so
pull you
she's
out of
like the
class.
guy on South Park who's like, drugs are bad, okay?
Yeah, pretty much. She had very much had that vibe of like, I feel for you, but I don't get paid enough to really care. Um, so here's a bunch of resources for you, a 16-year-old boy, to deal with your alcoholic parents and how that impacts your life. So good luck. Let me know if you need anything. There's nothing I can do for you, but just let me know anyway. And yeah, that was my experience with that, and I pretty much threw it in the trash on my way out.
Hmm.
Let her know how I felt about it. Um,
Right.
because, I, like many other, they often say, there's no perfect family out there, and I
Hmm.
agree largely.
Oh yeah.
But I knew kids that were going through way worse shit than I was.
Yeah.
And
There's always someone going through something worse,
yeah, and so
it
yeah, no,
seems. Big universe.
if you invest in education, you invest in, medical health, your country's population, the lifeblood of what makes
Hmm.
us a country, are all dying of cancer and heart disease.
Uh-huh.
And the capitalism machine just keeps on churning and
Right.
keeps on
Right.
oppressing. And, the 1% gets wealthier and the 99, pretty soon, in 100 years, we're not going to have the 1%. We're going to have
Hmm.
the 0.1%. And
Right.
where
Well,
0.1% controls 99.9% of all the wealth, and we will be the 0.1% that controls, or
yeah.
we will be the 0.99% that controls.
Hmm.
Yeah, anyway, it's just going to get worse. It's getting
Maybe.
worse already. There is no middle class. And,
Right.
the
Well,
one,
I think in 100 years we're gonna have universal basic income too.
uh,
Hopefully. I don't think there's any avoiding it. Well, that's a whole other topic. I'm not gonna
yeah.
go there. We'll
I
get
mean,
talking about
it
AI
is.
and robots again.
Yeah, no, don't do that. That is another topic. I'm just basically pointing out that all of the factors that lead up to gun violence being the end result that we want to stop, working
Yeah.
backwards from there, what are the logical steps? Well, you want to reduce gun violence. The ideal, my friend's ideal world where there are no guns in the hands of anybody but, a well-regulated military personnel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, in that perfect, how do we get there? Well, you gotta, taking away guns being the last step, you gotta change the culture, and you're not gonna pass very reformative stuff. All these democratic laws that the Democrats put forth are like baby steps towards that end. Some of them feel like knee-jerk responses to
Hmm.
just appease their constituents, like banning bump stocks. That's not gonna that's not gonna stop school shootings. Uh,
Right.
you know, banning, guns from the state fair, not going to stop shootings. Uh, you know, they feel like knee-jerk responses, and they're just baby steps.
Hmm.
But they're polarizing for one thing in the political climate. Um, but nobody wants to listen to each other. I mean, politics began.
Right.
I
That's
mean,
the
it's
problem,
all just fucked.
is that no
Um,
one's talking to each other.
no, and what's worse is our politicians, largely, it's become evident to me at least that most of them, the ones we vote into office, that's all that was their end game, was to
Hmm.
just get voted in.
Right.
And now they've solidified themselves. Now they have a bullet point list given to them by their aides. It's like, this is what we stand for. Okay, this is what we stand for.
Right.
All right, let me read what we stand
This is
for.
what we're paid to stand for by our
Yes. And
corporate overlords.
and so,
I'm
but yeah, education
not
would have to
bitter.
change, and so that way criminals aren't, because nobody's born a criminal. And that's the thing, is nobody
Uh-huh.
is born a criminal. They're born into, this world. And, just to paint a picture, let's say, woman gets pregnant.
Hmm.
She's 17, can't afford to raise a child. Father
Uh-huh.
has no interest in doing so.
Hmm.
Her mom was a single mom, so that's her only support network. She works 3 jobs. She's still in school, so the baby, she can't get access to abortions,
Hmm.
even though that thought crossed her mind. The state says she can't have one, so she has the
Right.
baby. The baby's born into an impoverished household. The mother dies of a heart attack when the daughter's, 23, from overworking jobs. She only had
Hmm.
basic life insurance just to get a whopping, 10 grand. She's working three jobs, couldn't go to college, and can't afford childcare. Just it just generates this generational impoverishment, like with no help from Papa
Hmm.
government, who all along the way has made all these decisions for her. And then that child grows up poor, sees cool things, wants cool things, or just wants to feed themselves. And that's why people turn to crime, is because
Hmm.
they cannot afford basic necessities. It's such
Right.
a simple
Desperation.
freaking thing that everybody just wants to paint, and a lot of it is racially motivated, as evidenced by society in general here in
Hmm.
America.
Hmm.
Just open up Facebook and you can see all the comments, Facebook and Twitter, and you can see what lots of white people think of all the other races, and the disproportionate crime rates and whatnot. They'll tell you what they think about them instead of actually
Uh-huh.
breaking it down. And so, yeah, you stop crime by stopping poverty. Poverty, along with
Hmm.
domestic violence, is the leading. Poverty is the leading cause of like every ailment in our society. It
Right.
is the single greatest like stress factor on all of the violence and all of the discord
Hmm.
here in the United States and largely the world. Impoverishment leads people to do horrible things, and the opposite is true as well. Greed
Hmm.
leads people to do horrible things. Um,
Right. Greed leads people to do horrible things to the impoverished. Greed leads people to create the impoverished. And then the impoverished are desperate enough and they eat the rich. They just, eventually they figure out who's doing this to them. But a lot of them, it's like, school shooters. Nobody sees me. Nobody hears me. Nobody knows what I'm going through. So,
yeah,
how do you get their attention? And also just get it all done, get it out, get done, be out, be dead.
yep. And
Be.
school shootings are unique amongst even gun violence cases as well,
Hmm.
because, you know, I don't like to correlate mental illness and gun violence,
Uh-huh.
because overall mental illness has very little impact on, with the exception of mass shootings, mental illness is very loosely attributed to gun
Hmm.
violence.
Right.
It's excluding suicides as well,
Hmm.
because mental illness and gun violence to yourself, that's a different story. But violence to others in the mentally ill is very, very rare and nuanced usually.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, substance abuse, large correlating factor to gun violence, substance abuse, impoverishment, domestic violence.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, solve all of those things. And poverty causes domestic disputes. Um, and if Republicans want something to get behind in this argument, uh, you know, gun control, sensible gun control helps back the blue, because
Uh-huh.
the number one uh, the number one instance where officers get shot is during domestic violence calls.
Hmm.
Pulling up to the site of a domestic violence call is the leading cause of what gets officers shot.
Yeah.
And so by enacting and actually enforcing red flag laws like domestic violence, which many states have them, and then violators are still able to get firearms somehow
Hmm.
and through legal means,
Yeah.
only later to be revealed, oh, they didn't actually get it through legal means. Well, they bought it from a store.
Hmm.
Sounds like they got it through legal means to me. Oh no, see, they got it from a gun show. I was like, oh, a gun show? Why
Right.
aren't those fucking regulated?
Right. And
Easy. And so yeah, I mean the root cause of gun violence lies in the things that don't sell on the news,
hmm.
which are the
Right.
bigger problems that constantly have plagued America since its inception, which is the
Right.
large disparity between our kings and the serfs.
Hmm. Yeah. And the finger pointing and the outrage. Just they
Yep.
want to take your guns.
Yeah.
Like that shit. Like no, but I like everything you're saying. Like I feel like if I were in politics, that might be how, as an independent, I would try to cross the aisle to get something done about gun violence. Is how about we don't necessarily directly go at guns at first? How about we talk to not the damn politicians or the fucking NRA, but the voters, and here's the thing, like the Democrats, the thing that pisses me off the most is that their word choices in their messaging, like say defund the police. They didn't want to defund the police altogether, but that is literally what they were saying. So it was so
Yeah.
easy for Fox News to say, well, they want to just get rid of the police. They didn't. But, the Democrats were assuming that everyone would get what they meant. Well, why don't you just say what you mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Police reform.
yeah, like, duh, but they aren't saying what they mean. And that's also is the problem with like getting our taxes to pay for school, like college, and getting our taxes to pay for health care, all of which would contribute significantly to reducing gun violence in this country. But
Yeah.
no, the Democrats have to go with free college for everyone, free health care. And then, the pundits on the right get everybody, all their people worked up. Well, they just want everything for free. It's not
Where's the
free.
money come
They
from?
they are not asking for anything free. So stop calling it that. It
Yeah,
is
no, the choice of
we
words is
want
poor.
we want our
And you know what it
tax
does?
dollars to
It
make
riles
sure
up.
our neighbors aren't morons.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We don't want free college. We want the government to make sure my neighbor is not a moron because I don't want to be surrounded by morons. I feel like we could sell that a lot better, and that
Yeah,
would,
and you
as you
have to ask
say,
yourself,
reduce
Glenn,
gun
is it
violence.
intentional? Are
Are the
they
Democrats
riling?
trying to fail like that?
Well, no, but
I
they're not
don't think
failing.
so.
The Democrats are not failing if they're getting elected.
Okay, yeah,
That's
they
the
are
thing.
getting elected, but they aren't getting their agendas. Like, and I know some of them fight for these things, like
Yeah, and they
hard, but
are,
they still use terrible messaging.
and they get screwed out of the DNC by the bigger Democrats.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I'm looking at you, Bernie. Um, but
Right.
but yeah, no, that's the problem is because saying defund the police is something that young college-aged Democrats can chant.
They can
We can get
chant it,
riled up.
but
We can get
it's
fired up. And then, what was the other? Free college. We can
free.
chant that. We can
Yeah.
get riled up over that, and we can
Uh-huh.
elect Democrats.
Right.
And I think it's intentional. I think if they wanted to say, we'll get, federally paid for, we'll expand federal grants to pay for more kids' college. There you
Mm-hmm.
go.
But
That's
make
a,
sure
that,
we I feel like we need to make sure that we acknowledge that we are paying for it.
yeah,
Like it
our
comes from the
society.
taxes that we pay in. It's not just the government creates money and gives the shit away. It's just like, you know, because that's where the Republicans get everybody scared and pissed off.
Yeah, no,
There's
they think that
freeloaders. They want to be
Obama's going to come to their door
socialists.
with a bag and say, "Fork over your money."
Yeah. You
and
give me all your
give me
money
your
to pay for
guns.
that more. Yeah, he's
And give me all your money so we can pay for uh City Boys College. And give me your
hmm
guns too. Uh don't worry, skinwalkers are a hoax. Uh they're not real. Um yeah, no, it's a yeah, I mean both sides are just trying to get elected and my
hmm
angle of starting from like a grassroots approach of reshaping our society to change the culture because I don't think gun reform will get across until gun culture catches up to a more empathetic society.
Right. Right,
And
exactly.
because everybody's too fired up, everybody's clutching their pearls
Uh-huh.
over every little thing. And we want to be told it's going to be okay. So when
hmm
Matt comes in as the new hot Democrat, trying to get elected, and I'm like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
so this plan will come to fruition in about 50 years or so. And everybody's like, well, fuck
Right, in
that.
50 years we won't have nearly as many shootings.
Yes, exactly. And that's my angle. Like, because this will not
Uh-huh.
happen overnight. Because I don't think kids need to be in
No.
school until they're 18. I think we have largely progressed past that. I think kids should be in smaller classrooms of about 10. I think to a certain degree, your teacher should move up with you to get a more
Mm,
intimate knowledge of your students to be like, this person is really good at art. He would excel at this. This person does well in mathematics. He would do well in this profession. And have sort of a
hmm
like, hey, these are our recommended career guides for
Uh-huh.
you based on what I know about you. Let's go one by one. Come meet me in my office and
hmm
we'll talk about what you want to do.
Right.
And if that
And
lines
that
up with what I think you'd be good at. And then we'll talk about what courses you can take to get better at what you want to be good at.
hmm
And that's where schools should go. It shouldn't be like, now everybody turn to page 394 and look at how the white man didn't really do the bad thing during the 1800s and
that they did.
that they totally did.
They
Um,
didn't do the bad thing that they
and
did
and don't
that
and
makes
don't
us
worry,
feel
you are
bad.
not your father. And so, yeah, all this regurgitated bullshit, standardized testing crap
Oh
that
yeah,
that
fuck
makes
all
kids
that.
make think that they're worthless and they'll never be anything. We need
Uh-huh.
fucking electricians. We need plumbers.
Yes, yes.
And those are not, you know, bad jobs. Trade schools are not bad.
Mm-mm.
The rest of the world is already on this page. We were all fed go to college, get a good job. And what do you see now? Communications majors working at Starbucks
Right.
and
And drowning in debt.
drowning in debt. And so the school system would
Becoming
have to be
desperate,
reformed.
possibly thinking about who should I shoot to get out of
And
this.
simultaneously, the school being reformed, the income disparity needs to be
hmm
reformed. Like you said,
Yes.
some form of basic universal income. So
Or
that
at least
way,
raising the minimum wage to
because
match
that's what
what
causes
it
family
was when the
instability is
baby
financial
boomers were.
stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they squandered it. There was that
hmm
song I sent you by that
Yeah,
folk
yeah.
artist that talks
That
about
was
how the
great.
baby boomers inherited the world and squandered it. Now they're running out of time
hmm
and they're running around scared
hmm
because all the baby boomers are all old and dying now and their fun's been had and they're scared of the end. And so what are they doing? Making their lives as comfortable as possible and burning
Uh-huh.
our world to the ground in the
Right.
process. They have no intention to leave anything for future generations when
Right.
everything was left to them.
hmm Yeah,
They
no,
largely
exactly.
inherited the biggest economic boom that we've seen since the industrial uh, revolution.
Uh-huh.
And
And I mean, and that's a generalization
it
because
is, it's a
always there
large
are
generalization.
exceptions.
Yes.
There are baby boomers
But the wealth disparity between
who
the
are
1% and the
very
99%
responsible.
was not what it
Right.
was a
Oh
hundred
yeah,
years ago.
no, no, and not what it was 40 or 50 years
40 years
ago.
ago, the top 10% owned 90%. And that's bad enough.
hmm
But
Yeah,
within
but
10 years,
still
it got
the
down to
disparity,
1%.
the wealth disparity it wasn't nearly what it is now. You know, CEOs didn't make like 1,000 times more
Yeah.
than their employees. You know,
No, they made about four times
that
more.
yeah, it's like that
And then that
wealth
went to
that the
10.
company was coming in, that the people who work for that company are generating was spread out a lot better,
Yeah,
you
there's a meme
know?
out there right now that's like people think that like unions were just some people think that flexing the hustle. Kids nowadays, I say kids,
Oh,
my
I know what you're
30-year-old
talking about.
compatriots,
Uh-huh.
all flex about I worked 80 hours last week and I'm gonna work 80 hours next week. I'm like,
Yeah,
and
and
he's
that's
like, I
just
sleep
really
for 4
sad.
hours a night, and I'm like,
You're describing my life,
I
but
was like, are you trying to flex right now? Like that,
uh-huh.
that's not good.
Right.
He's like my forefathers. I was like, no, dude, your forefathers went into the factory together and like, hey, boss, we decided that 8 hours a day is an honest day's work, and that you don't pay me enough to feed my family, so we're gonna take more money and only come in from 9 to 5 with a 1 hour
Yeah.
lunch break,
Yeah.
and
Thank
the
you, unions.
and thank you,
And
and
we
then they all
want
leave
two
with their
days
lead
off a
pipes.
week in a row. Like weekends came from unions.
Yeah,
The 8 hour workday came from unions.
yeah. And yeah, no, kids also don't need to be in school for 8 hours a day. That's freaking ridiculous.
Hmm.
It's a state funded childcare program, essentially.
Right. Well, because
Um,
yeah, because both parents have to work for one reason. Like,
yep,
see that
exactly.
everything needs to change simultaneously because if you fix the school thing, because yeah, I agree. Like, I don't agree with everything you said about, like, I feel like that could be a whole topic on
Yeah,
itself, like
totally, totally.
education reform.
Education reform.
But like, so I won't get into that. But I
Right.
do
These are all just
agree.
spitball ideas.
I do agree that y kids are in school too long every day. Like they can't, kids are not built to just sit in a damn desk for 8 hours and listen attentively to teachers. Like they're not made for that. And like I feel like that's not really, yeah,
Teachers weren't made for
it's
that either.
bad. No, teachers weren't made. It's like the whole thing needs to reform, but you can't cut the hours of classes without having an economy where
Yep.
at least one parent can stay home. Not that,
Or just invest in more community centers to where
yes,
maybe they're not at
yeah,
school,
either or, but
but they
something,
have
there
a
has
place
to be
to
a place
go.
for them to go and go
Yeah.
play and be kids at a at the YMCA or at a community center of
Yeah, the Young
some
Men's Christian
sort.
Association.
Oh, is that what that? I never knew what it stood for.
Yep. Young Men's
That's
Christian
that's
Association.
interesting. That's weird. Oh
Yep.
well.
There was a YWCA for a while, but it never
Uh-huh.
took off.
I vaguely remember something about that.
Yeah, it just sort of Young Men's Christian Association sort of is just like, okay, you girls can play too.
Yeah, because it's co-ed. Like when
Because it's
I went when
co-ed
I was a
now.
little kid, it was
Yeah.
co-ed. Because yeah, I took gymnastics,
Yep. I
tumbling.
played soccer, baseball, and basketball for the Y. My
See,
mom
I
worked
mean, and
out
that's a
there.
great thing. Like it's already there. We maybe just need to build it up a little bit more.
Oh yeah,
But
no.
if it's a Christian thing, I don't
Start
think the
taxing
government
churches
should
and
be
start
funding it.
not taxing community centers,
Right.
independent community centers, and but yeah, no. I mean, it all starts there, and it would be an incredibly slow process. It would not.
Right.
I do think that if if tomorrow everybody got a check for 2 grand, and then the next month everybody got a check for 2 grand, and then the next month
Hmm.
everybody got a check for 2 grand, I think gun violence would just stop.
I think you're
I
right.
think it would largely
I
just
no.
frick it, unless there are literal like blood like vendettas out there that still have
Uh-huh.
to be paid between riled up
Yeah.
parties. Uh,
Hmm.
I think gun violence would largely just go in the
Right.
can because oh well shit, I can pay my bills, I can feed my kids, I can clothe my kids, I can even buy that new TV that I've been wanting, and
Right. Yeah,
instead of out
exactly.
shooting people and selling drugs,
Hmm.
robbing people, uh
Yeah.
people would be at home watching Netflix and probably making kids
Yeah.
that
That they can afford.
they can
They're
afford.
making kids they can afford to raise well.
Yeah,
Like,
because didn't Trump say
and they can
something about wanting
afford to
to
house.
pay mothers to have kids essentially, like a
Oh,
child tax
something.
credit thing.
Yeah, something.
And like,
I
why
don't
aren't
remember
people
the
having babies? It's
details.
like because we can't afford them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we
so yeah,
can't
no, I
afford to
think
have
that if
kids.
I mean, the number would have to be worked out, but it would have to be
Right.
substantial. It couldn't be, hey, here's
It
20
would.
bucks.
No,
Uh,
exactly. It would have to be a living wage, basically. Like I want to do like that's on my list for next season is UBI, um,
that'd be a fun
Universal
one.
Basic Income, because yeah,
There
that's
are
worth
places
talking
where
about. Because
they've tried it.
exactly, yeah, it's
I don't know enough about the results. I know the ones that get posterized where they it worked out pretty good, but I don't know about the places where it failed because I'm sure there have been
yeah,
failures.
I'd have to look into it. But yeah, that's
Because
a
it
whole other topic, but it does
because I can't
apply.
even
Like,
imagine universal basic income in a staunchly capitalistic society.
well, I think it'll be easier to imagine when no one can get a job. And that's
Yeah.
kind of where we're headed
Well, in every
rapidly.
dystopian like futuristic thing, like universe that I uh
Hmm.
consume in media, there's always
Yeah.
like when they're like, "Oh yeah, you mean Earth? All those unemployed 13 billion people living on basic." That's what everybody
Yeah.
goes with in the sci-fi community seemingly is
Uh-huh.
that Earth has become this mega rich corporation center
Hmm.
for a few individuals. Meanwhile, all the bottom dwellers are just living on basic income.
Uh-huh.
And there's a lottery to get a job and
Yeah.
shit
Uh
like that. And
yeah, see, I mean, then that goes we're going into a whole other topic
I
now,
mean,
but
and I know
it's
that
true though.
I would get into this because that's my large overall encompassing stance on reducing gun violence is that
Uh-huh.
it doesn't start with gun laws. I think it starts way
That
before gun laws.
I agree with you. Like I never thought about it that way. Like co coming at gun violence from the back door, basically.
Yeah,
It's
like
like
the
you don't
SWAT
even
team.
have to talk about guns, but you can.
Right.
Like you can say this would
Because gun
greatly
violence is
reduce
a
gun
symptom.
violence.
It's a
Exactly.
symptom of a
Exactly.
larger problem, which
Uh-huh.
is eat the rich.
Right.
It
Right.
is
We're being
greed.
squeezed. We're being squeezed way too hard
Yeah, we are all
by the
like the
1%.
American people are animals caught in a trap. And
Uh-huh.
every day we have to choose, do we gnaw off our leg?
Right.
And
Right.
instead we're given some prescription pain medication for the pain of the bear trap in our leg.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're given another person who's on another trap and we're being told that they set this trap.
Mm-hmm.
And then so now we're pissed off at that guy while we're doped up on pain meds. Meanwhile, it's corporate America that is the bear trap, not like digging into our leg and keeping us down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a very dark metaphor because that
But
basically said, because I we talked about this before. I don't want to say that revolution is what has to happen,
uh-huh.
but in that metaphor, you pretty much it's like, well, you got to gnaw the leg off, which
Right.
basically is in that context of that metaphor would
Mm-hmm.
be like you have to draw blood. And
Yeah.
so maybe not the best metaphor, but it's how I feel.
But yeah,
Um,
but I mean revolution can take different forms. It doesn't have to
violence.
be violent.
Right.
It gets to the like I
Usually
think
is.
yeah. But I think I was reading something I probably agree with today.
I like how you
Um
said that.
like some economist was talking about how like some world famous economist was talking
Probably a
about how
racist.
I think it was an economist. I don't know. I have to go back. I was reading on my phone at work and being quite distracted. But, he was basically projecting that we have, because he was from the UK, but he's been here doing something for months. And like he went back and his take on our situation is that we have 400 days left to save democracy. And that basically takes us to the midterms. And that if we can get a blue tsunami to take over Congress, that'll give us another 700 days. If we have a Congress that can rein Trump in, basically, that can say no to him and stop shit actively. But like beyond that, then yeah, those see that voting can be a revolution. Like if there is a blue wave, a blue fucking tsunami, which is likely, which is why they're working so hard to stop people from voting. But
I think I need to make a Twitter.
probably I'm on Twitter.
I need
But
to make one because I always said I needed to like that's the only way I'm going to be able to follow all of my because I mean I'm a down the ballot,
mhm.
Democrat because I'm just like, well,
Right.
there's only
Well, at
one.
this point, yeah, that's really
Yeah.
how it works. But yeah,
And
like if we can get to that, we won't need to fight a bloody revolution.
right,
But if we
right.
can't, the only kind of revolution left to us is a bloody one.
And
Like
that's an
if
absolute.
those yeah, no, but well, I am a Sith Lord.
Right.
But
It's
I mean, only a Sith deals in absolutes. But
right. It's when we like you said when we're starving
yeah,
and the our masters have been very careful to make sure we have enough scraps to keep us happy
yeah.
and to keep us sedated.
Hmm.
Um, but the I guess it'd be scary to say it now that the third great awakening is on the way.
Right.
But I think it's already underway.
Oh
Um,
yeah. And
it's just taking a little longer
my hope is
because
that change comes without violence, without more.
More violence.
violence.
Yeah.
But wait, but what were you saying about Twitter keeping up with?
Oh, it's just like if I set my mind out and only follow like politicians to keep up
Uh-huh.
on all of them, I think
Oh
it's,
yeah.
otherwise what am I doing? Getting a bulletin board and putting their pictures and
Uh-huh.
their dossiers on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that'd be it. But if I just made an account for the sole purpose, because that seems to be, X, where
Oh right. Yeah.
the easiest to stay in the loop on what your elected officials are up to.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's so hard nowadays, because I'm just so like I've been pointing out, everybody's just so beaten down
Uh-huh.
with
True.
all of the media and all of the violence
Mm-hmm.
and all of the influencers, who capitalized on both sides, capitalized on Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Mm-hmm.
You got people on the right who, in their personal lives, I don't doubt, don't give two shits about nobody but
Oh
themselves,
yeah, absolutely.
and they
But they're
came out as
performing.
they came out of performative empathy,
Uh-huh.
and blew up on TikTok, and vice versa. And so, it's exhausting. Like I've always said, like I turned my empathy off in like 2015
Mm-hmm.
because the the Trump's initial campaign just shocked
Yeah.
it just shocked
Yeah.
me. It gave me whiplash to a society where I thought white supremacy was, not tolerated, and then we see marching in Virginia of the
Mm-hmm.
Ku Klux Klan with torches and
Mm-hmm.
crosses, and all across the nation, they're crawling out of the woodworks, and everybody I thought I knew, turns out that they have very bigoted opinions on real people with real
Yeah.
lives that have
Yeah.
nothing to do with their way of life.
Mm-hmm.
And that I turned it off because it hurts. It hurts a lot. And nowadays they have a word for it, and it's called doom scrolling. And I have to be very
Yeah.
careful
Yeah.
not to do so, because
Yeah,
we
there's
see all this violence. We see children
mm-hmm.
starving in Gaza. And then we see, you know, Trump's getting more and more buried in more and more Epstein related things.
Right.
He
Yeah,
apparently bought a depreciated woman from Epstein. Did you see that on the birthday card?
no, what?
No.
Oh, well, I saw I saw his little birthday
Okay,
card
the
with the
birthday card. No,
huge
it was a
signature, but
check.
that
Uh,
was oh, a check.
yeah,
Okay.
Trump gave Epstein a big old check, like a fake check, with a
Uh-huh.
letter saying this is for selling me a quote unquote, like he put in quotes, depreciated woman.
Ooh, what a
And
piece of
yeah,
shit.
so that's,
God.
and
Yeah, like
it's,
I get it's there's a fine line between being responsibly informed and doom scrolling. Because
yes,
it's like I don't want to look at any of it, but I know I have to look at some of it because I need to be responsibly informed. I mean,
right.
it's a patriotic duty to remain informed in a democracy. But, yeah, doom scrolling makes you sick. Like it makes me sick. Like I feel
I just feel
gross. I
so
mean,
jaded. Like
but
I
I'm
am,
hoping. Oh yeah. Yeah.
no, go ahead.
I know what you mean, but you talk about turning your empathy off in response to that. And I feel like that's incredibly dangerous because
Yeah,
like, if people do that just from exhaustion, like empathy overload, it's like, no more. I can't feel for any other people. This is insanity all around me every day, 24/7, 365, 366 on a leap year. It makes sense to, if you can, just turn it off. But without empathy, we don't have society. Like, if everybody turns off their empathy, like, without empathy, we never would have had society. We wouldn't have medical care. Empathy is one of the first signs of human civilization. When you find an ancient body or a skeleton with evidence of having had a bone set by someone, that's empathy. You don't have doctors without empathy. You don't have community without empathy. You don't have strong friend groups. Like you have cannibalism, I bet. Loads of cannibalism because oh, you look sick. I'm gonna eat you. You
Yeah.
know, like I mean, that's a world without empathy, but it's a danger. It's kind of what they want. They want you to switch it off, you
Yeah.
know? And I don't know how. It's like I have to unplug every now and again, you know? And that I guess is the equivalent of switching off my empathy. It's like I don't want to see it. I don't want to know about it for just the weekend. I just need the weekend to pretend that everything is okay
Yeah, no, I've been
and
thinking about taking
recharge my batteries.
a retreat, like
Uh-huh.
a unplugged retreat, which is so dangerous, but uh just go off into the woods, no
Yeah.
phone and or anything. I'll just tell somebody where I went and when I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
back.
Well, you could
Uh,
always take your phone with you, just have it turned off. Like
no,
have
the
it for if there's an
temptation there.
emergency. Oh, really?
Yeah, the temptation there would
Okay.
be too strong. It's too embedded in me to
I
when
see.
it's a
Yeah, it's like
distraction.
gotta look.
Yeah, it's an
Gotcha.
addiction, and like and mo the addictions I've been able to conquer have all been like cold turkey. Like
Hmm.
if I don't fully commit, I'm not committing.
Oh no, I
And
I am the same. I have an addictive personality. It's all or
yeah,
nothing.
and so yeah, no, I forgot where we were going with that. Oh yeah, no, just eat the rich. Bloody
Yum.
revolution. Is
Switch
it
off
coming
your
to
empathy, eat the
a city near
rich.
you? Uh, no, but yeah. So I mean, all of my like uh, concepts of reducing gun violence effectively and
Hmm.
largely involve a like multi-decade, multi
Hmm.
level plan of accomplishing it because I don't think that there's any one gun law that is going to stop mass shootings because that's what we really
Oh
want.
no,
Gun
yeah,
violence, at the end of the day, man murdering his wife is a tale as old as time.
yeah.
We've been doing that since
Unfortunately.
way before we had guns.
Yeah.
And so, but we haven't been, I mean, I guess we have too, but those are stupid people. I was going to say, we haven't been murdering mass quantities of people for,
Well, walking into elementary school and just shooting everyone.
oh, yeah, we've
That's,
been doing that for a long time too.
but not as
Like,
long as men have been murdering their wives, as you said,
oh,
like
yeah, no, we
it's
used to walk
not the
into Native
tale as old as
American,
time.
settlements and just start opening fire. Native Americans
Hmm.
used to come into White settlements and just start kidnapping and killing people. And so
That's
killing
true, but
people
that was more
in mass
territory
quantities.
disputes and
Yeah.
such. That wasn't
That
just
wasn't, yes, you
I'm
are
pissed
right.
off at the world, so I'm gonna walk into
Yeah.
this
So in
totally
modern
innocent
society, I was trying
group
to,
of children.
yeah, I was going down a rabbit hole there, but no, yeah, I don't think gun law is going to stop mass shootings. I don't think there's a single gun law that could cross a legislature and be passed that
Hmm.
would stop mass shootings tomorrow, next
Hmm.
year. I don't think like, that, and so that's where I'm frustrated with
Hmm.
both Democratic lawmakers. I'm always frustrated with MAGA lawmakers.
Oh yeah, beyond
But
frustrated. I'm
because
disgusted.
I don't see a way other than starting at the grassroots.
Mm.
Because I think you ban bump stocks, you limit magazine size, you do all the things that we've talked about, all the sensible gun control.
Hmm.
You take away weapons of war, no more rocket launchers, grenade launchers, and
Hmm.
uh, flamethrowers and stuff. No tanks. So
Yeah.
the only guns people are able to get are rifles, semi-automatic, um, and then a select few automatic collector's items from like World War II,
Yeah.
which many of those are still deadly weapons, but you're
Right.
not going to take an LMG into a school. That's too much work, and
Hopefully.
it'll jam on you. Um,
Hmm.
but and then handguns, shotguns, and whatnot, and that's pretty tame. That's still a hefty arsenal of killing tools available to the American public. Do all the red flag laws, all the felony
Yeah.
charges, domestic violence, pedophilia, all of that stuff. They can't buy
Hmm.
guns anymore. Um, you do all of that, and then I think you're still gonna have school shootings because those are the weapons that are
Well,
being used in school shootings.
yeah, but I do think you'll have significantly fewer school shootings. It won't solve, there is no overnight just add water solution. I agree with
Right.
that. But I think history has shown, like in the 90s. I don't know, like, I don't remember the exact timeline if this was perhaps in response to Columbine. I think it was 94. Um, we had until the Republicans undid it, we had an assault weapons ban in place. And I want to say it reduced gun violence by 70 something percent. I mean, yeah, there's that 20 something percent that's still there, but cutting a chunk like that out is incredibly significant. And it would be worth doing that again, even though it doesn't solve the problem. I think you do that, but you also boost education. You also boost income, diminish wealth disparity between the rich and the poor. All of that's important. And I think if you did all of that, you'd have a better result than they had in the 90s when they did ban assault weapons, if I'm remembering correctly. So it's not like, to me, like if you're
Yeah,
not
it was
going to get
1986, and then
86, I'm sure there
1994.
was 94. That's the one I
Yeah.
was thinking of. I didn't know they did anything in the
Yeah,
80s.
86 was the Firearm Owners Protection Act.
Uh-huh.
Included a ban on the transfer and possession of fully automatic firearms manufactured
Hmm.
after a certain date. So collector's items are
Uh-huh.
still allowed. And then the 1994 federal assault weapons ban. I don't know what the intent was. Yeah, I mean it was
I think the intent was to cut down on gun violence.
yeah,
But
there is research regarding the effects of the ban is limited and inconclusive. Sufficient evidence to determine the effectiveness of the ban on reducing the overall homicide rate as well as the total firearm rate. There is
Mhm.
insufficient evidence. So yeah,
What are you getting? What are you
that's just
reading?
Wikipedia. So I mean,
Oh,
I'd
okay.
have to go in and
Yeah, it
look at their
requires a much
sources.
deeper dive, but I think the numbers generally support that when you do something, it's better than when you do nothing. Like, because
Typically, yeah,
from state to state, we have different gun laws.
yeah,
Because we're talking about it at the federal level, pretty
right.
much. But if you look at the numbers state to state, generally the states that have the most regulation have the least gun violence. It's not like it's eradicated. It's not like it isn't there.
Oh yeah,
But
no, there's a huge, and not to keep tooting my own horn, but there is a huge positive correlation between being high ranked in education, citizen welfare,
mhm.
and median household income. There's a huge correlation of that, and then a decrease in gun
Oh,
violence.
no doubt.
Like
Like I'm so
Massachusetts
glad.
is number one in education in the country,
Hmm.
number one in
Hmm.
education, number one in welfare, and number two in median household income. And they are 50th in gun
Gun
violence.
violence?
Yeah,
Massachusetts, you say?
Massachusetts.
Now I know what state to move to. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wait, do they have a state income tax? Because I hate
they
that.
probably do. They're a blue state.
Oh,
Most
well.
blue states have state income tax.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was a partisan kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what that's why you have a higher median. You get paid more there because they're going to take some.
Oh, true. True.
And
But as long as you can still live, and I don't mean survive, I mean live
right,
after taxes, that's not so bad. And it's what do the taxes do for you? Like,
right. They keep you safe from
so,
guns.
right. And I like that. Like, but I'm so glad you came at it from that angle because I literally never really thought about that. Like,
Because it's always
because I feel like
it's
that's
easy.
key.
Yeah, it's easy to overlook because when you hear about a school shooting, you're like, what the F? are we doing? Let's get take these people's guns. Like, that's the
Hmm.
knee jerk,
Hmm.
the visceral reaction is to
Yeah.
why does this keep happening? Let's take it away. And I just, I had some
Yeah, it's
drinks
like,
one night and I, sat down and I just thought and started writing and
hmm
tried to get to the bottom of it. And yeah, I arrived at this cannot be solved overnight. This may not be solved in my lifetime, but
hmm
it's getting worse. So
hmm
measures need to be taken. But good luck. And then I was just filled with disappointment because I'm like, good luck getting elected on a 50-year plan.
Well, you don't say that. Like, you don't say this will take 50 years.
But
But
you
you
won't get
can
elected.
say it won't happen overnight, but then you point to numbers, you point to Michigan, you said?
Uh, uh, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. I was close.
I mean,
They
most
both
of the
start with a
Northeast
M.
is blue,
Yeah.
and as a region, as the Northeast is the
Uh-huh.
highest in most regards in terms of
Yeah.
education, welfare, uh,
Right.
and household income.
Yeah. But see, I think with that message, you don't scare away the people who think that the left is coming to take away their guns. You specifically say, we're not taking away your guns.
We're
We're
taking
addressing
away
it
your
this
need
way.
for them.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to make it where you don't need to be as scared. You
Yeah,
don't need to be as desperate. Like,
right.
you can have your guns, but you're hardly likely to go out and start shooting people because
That's
you
the
won't
idea.
have a need to, and that can be the messaging,
Because yeah, gun
rather than
buyback
whatever
programs don't
idiot.
work right now because
Uh,
nobody wants to get rid of their guns because they're like, I need these.
right, right.
But eventually, when you change the culture on them, people are gonna be like, I don't need this dusty old thing. I hear
Hmm.
there's a federal buyback down the street this Saturday. Let's go sell our guns back. And
Hmm.
then, in Australia, when they did that, and it overwhelmingly worked in the
Hmm.
wake of their big mass shooting that they had in the 90s,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
the reason the buyback programs worked then, and there's many reasons why they don't work here, but one of the reasons they paid market rate for for the
Hmm.
firearms over there. We try to give you pennies here.
Hmm.
Like the government is not willing to shell out market rate for your firearm. But the
Right.
government basically wrote a blank check for the buyback program
Hmm.
and was like, when somebody comes up, you know, they had like experts on standby who are gun dealers and
Hmm.
would purchase yeah, that one's worth 395. Okay. Fair price. There you go. And yeah, they weren't just like we're doing 400 for handguns, 600 for rifles, and 300 for used shotguns. Like, yeah, buyback
Hmm.
programs won't work when you're not willing to give them a fair price for one, and also
Right.
when all of America is still scared.
Yeah,
And
exactly. America
boy,
is terrified right now.
those red boys don't like being called scared, though. That's not why they have guns. I was like, it absolutely is.
Yeah, it is.
You have
Yeah.
guns because you are scared of minorities and you're
Uh-huh.
scared of the government.
Hmm.
And so you're a scared little bitch. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but no, I mean, all of America is scared. And that's why we have our guns. That's why the gun sales like surged by like several 100% the day
Hmm.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
Oh, wow.
And, it's
Because
because
people
people
are
are scared.
afraid there's going to be a civil war.
Yeah. So, I mean, we solved gun violence.
We
Uh,
did. It's solved. When are you running for office? Is it too late to get in on the midterms? Let's do
no,
it.
no, I don't need people finding our podcast. They'd find it and be like, "Oh, this is our guy. This
See, I'd own
this
that shit.
kooky."
It's like, yeah, I'm one of you. Like
Yeah,
really one of you. Not like Trump, 1%er doesn't know what groceries are, saying
yeah. No, I know
he's
what
one of
struggle
them.
is.
It's like, God, I knew you don't.
Yeah, right.
I mean, yeah, if I
Like
ever ran for office,
grocery.
I think
I like that word. It's a
very
cool word.
old-fashioned. I'm bringing it back. I'm like, it's never gone away.
I invented it. It's a
Oh.
beautiful word. Did you just come up with that? Oh, Jesus. But yeah, no, I mean. so many people are wondering, talking trash about the libs and woke
Yeah.
America and the woke
Yeah.
agenda, and they're wondering
Uh-huh.
why so many young people are the radical left and woke now. I'm just like, do you guys not remember making me say the Pledge of Allegiance every day in elementary school? And I
Uh-huh.
actually fucking took that shit to heart when it
Mm-hmm.
said, and freedom and liberty, freedom and justice for all.
For
Was
all.
was I
Yeah.
not supposed to fucking embed that in my soul like you wanted me to?
Uh-huh.
And like, and then I grew up and I think I stopped standing up for the pledge, much to the disconcern of
Yeah.
my teachers. I think
Oh,
what,
I
like
did too.
in like middle school, like
Uh-huh.
seventh grade or so, when because I mean I wasn't, social media wasn't as prevalent back then. Facebook was just getting started, MySpace was still the thing. And Obama was running for his first term. And that was my
Uh-huh.
first little dip into holy shit, there are still racists.
I
Like I've
know,
been
same.
living in this, I had been, little 13-year-old, 12, 13-year-old me was living in this little bubble world where like, yeah, I
Same.
read about it and I've seen it in
Mm-hmm.
like movies from
Yeah.
times past, but like
Thought
Obama
it was
started getting
history.
elected and I thought it was history. And I'm like, oh shit, there are still racists. I
Yeah.
thought I thought
No,
Martin
yeah.
Luther King got rid of them all. And
Back when Martin Luther King ran all the racists out of America
ran,
and then they
yeah,
shot him.
and then they shot him. And yeah, so that was shocking to me even then. And like, also under God wasn't added to the pledge until the
Till the
50s.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it was explained to me by one of my cool social studies teachers that was like, you don't have to say that part because it wasn't even a part of the original. I recently did some looking up about the guy who wrote the Pledge of Allegiance, and he's quite the
Mhm.
character. Um,
Really? I don't know anything about who wrote the Pledge of
Yeah, no, he
Allegiance.
was a Christian socialist that believed the primary disease in the world at large was impoverishment.
Goodness.
And he was a Christian socialist, the guy who wrote
I
the
love.
pledge.
Hey, you know what? So was Jesus.
Yeah, no, and that's what he said. He said that, capitalism was a sin
Hmm.
and that socialism is what Jesus would have wanted and was
I
his
kind of like this
goal.
guy.
He was also a very staunch racist.
Oh, well,
He is
that's
he was a
unfortunate.
very he was
That's
the duality of man in the 1800s.
right.
He loved Jesus and loved what Jesus stood for, but he did believe that there were inferior races in the world
Right.
and we
Well, but
should
that
not
is
mix with
what they
them.
were taught from birth. Like they were
Yeah,
taught that, yeah, but
yeah, but
that
you can't
doesn't
make
make it
excuses.
okay. That
Yeah,
doesn't make it okay. I'm just saying
the
that's
one.
why everyone was racist because they taught it like it was a scientific fact.
Yeah, I just
That,
think it's funny that he was a Christian socialist who
uh-huh.
who
That's,
so many people today are like, that's socialism, not in my America. I was like, oh, you're America. The whole one with the I
uh-huh.
pledge allegiance to the flag and the republic for which it stands, like that one. Yeah, that guy who wrote that, yeah, socialist.
Yeah, and he's a Christian socialist who didn't write one nation under God indivisible. He just
He
wrote
did that
one
on
nation
purpose.
indivisible
Yeah.
with
Yep.
liberty and
With liberty
justice
and
for
justice for all.
all.
And now the all he meant was all superior
White
races.
men like
Yeah.
yeah, just
So,
unfortunate. But
yeah, what's
but
his name?
we are more enlightened.
Francis. Francis something. Yeah, I was doing some reading about him because I was like, when did that under God? And it just led me down a rabbit hole. Because yeah, I started thinking about how like, man, I really took that shit to heart when I was a kid. Like liberty and justice for all. I thought that's what we were all about. I had to say it every day.
Hmm.
And then you grow up and they're like, yeah, I mean, it says that, but we don't
Uh-huh.
actually, what about all the illegals? And I'm just like, okay, they still have a right to
They
due
are a part of
process.
all, right?
It's
Yeah,
in
they
our
have rights
freaking
in this
Constitution.
country.
And I've seen
Uh-huh.
some interesting breakdowns on that. Okay, we're getting off topic.
Yeah,
Uh,
way.
but yeah, gun violence largely not in immigrants. Um,
Yeah, all the people they want to blame are mostly not playing that game.
no, it's usually some drunk disenfranchised dad,
Uh-huh.
you know, killing his wife
Hmm.
and his kids and then himself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no, seriously, most gun violence, it's not mass shootings.
no, no, and it's crime.
Hmm.
Crime is a big indicator of it, and uh, it's not immigrants. Immigrants are less likely to commit crimes, and except for identifiable, groups like
Yeah.
gangs and whatnot. Uh,
Hmm.
you know, and gangs are formed yet again by a lack of community, a lack of resources being poured into the community, and
Yeah.
education and poverty.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's gun violence and gun rights.
Yeah, I think we did all right on that one. I mean, I have new things to think about. Like I'm turning it over in new ways because of that conversation. I so good talk.
Yeah. No, I mean
Hopefully.
it. Hopefully somebody sees this and is
Yeah,
like,
like hopefully
oh,
our listeners agree. Maybe they have some other insights that surely they do. Like,
yeah,
I think everyone has their own take on all this. I'd love to hear about it in the comments.
yeah. I mean, it's a scary time,
Hmm.
and so if you're a gun owner, let us know why you have the right to do that and purchase
Right.
more. Or how do you feel about stand your ground laws? We didn't even
Hmm.
really. I mean, we kind of touched that topic. You know, it's shown that states with stand your ground laws show significantly higher rates of gun violence. And
Hmm.
I tried asking, I tried diving deep. Sometimes it's hard to do the research because the thing you're trying to connect isn't something somebody has tried to connect before, or the
Hmm.
data is misrepresented and it's hard to get what do you call it, clarity on it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I saw the data that I was seeing was on gun homicides. There's
Hmm.
an increase in homicides in states with stand your ground laws and castle doctrines.
Hmm.
And my question to the data compiler that never got answered was, are you talking about homicides in the sense of the actual meaning of the word, as in the killing of another person? Or are we talking about justified homicides where somebody was breaking in, they died because they got shot by
Right.
because I don't think it's
Right.
fair to include. I think those need to
Yeah,
be
I
separate
think
stats.
because they are uh very separate issues. Like
Yeah. Like one of them is somebody
because
defending their
one of
home.
yeah, and the other is malevolent. The other
Yeah.
is
Trying to abuse the law.
hmm.
Because if you goad somebody into a fight on your own property and then you shoot
So
them,
you can shoot him. Yeah.
that's abusing the law. That is not what the law was intended for. And I, as a judge, would
Hmm.
be like, "You're going to jail. You're a murderer.
Yeah.
Get owned." Uh, that's what I would say as a judge.
Hmm.
Yeah, because John
Agree.
Stewart, I saw a thing the other day about him talking about stand your ground laws, and he was talking about a fight escalated in a parking lot over the weight of a dog, and it,
That
and
led
it
to
that led to a
murder?
man being shot and killed
Jesus.
over a just a stupid little argument.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and so, stand your ground laws. Okay, so that's right. Sorry, we're supposed to be wrapping this up. But stand your ground laws are the extension of castle doctrine. They're essentially
Yeah, yeah.
castle doctrine is you can defend your home. Okay, stand your ground means you are allowed to defend yourself in a place have the right to be.
Hmm.
So, anywhere where guns are allowed, essentially.
Yeah,
Any piece
yeah.
of public property, if you feel you are threatened, you can now shoot somebody. And
Hmm.
turns out people's judgment in high intensity situations gets a little blurry. And then you throw substances, large amounts of these center around social places where alcohol is offered, where these
Yeah.
shootings occurred, like the State Fair shooting 2 years ago,
Hmm.
where, some kid shot up a place. And he was just a kid. I don't know if I never got his talks report, but,
Hmm.
yeah, it turns, the city banned guns entry into the state fair, which was the first time that it ever happened. And yeah, it turns out selling beer by the fist load and then having everybody armed to the teeth
Right,
is
bad
it's not
bad
the best
idea.
recipe in my opinion.
Yeah, guns
Um,
and drunkenness do not mix.
yeah, no, and yeah, it's any place where they sell alcohol, you probably shouldn't be able to carry firearms.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Honestly,
That's sensible gun control. I think so.
very sensible.
Or if you're if you want to, because concealed carry, like, come on, man, like, how do you make a law for, you can't buy alcohol, like, you can bring your gun in, but you got to like display it, and then if I see it as an alcohol distributor, you can't have any, and
Hmm.
you get a little pass or something, and
Right.
maybe there needs to be a new wristband that's like, I'm a gun carrier, and
Oh, right.
I don't know, but then that
Or
kind of
put
defeats
on
the
your
purpose of being
ID. I
concealed.
don't know. Yeah. Well, yeah. Uh,
Yep, these are the
uh,
conversations, though, in a modern
yeah,
America.
it's true.
Can I
Oh
have
well.
my
Yeah.
gun to keep myself and my family safe from other
Hmm.
people that have guns? And where
Right.
am I willing to compromise on that?
Hmm.
Because currently I'm scared. And
Yeah.
so I want my gun because everybody else has got them.
Right.
And until things start changing,
Hmm.
I'm not giving mine up.
Hmm.
So, make me feel safer in my own community, in my own state, in my own country,
Hmm.
on my own planet, and
In your own galaxy.
in my own galaxy, in my own star cluster. And but anyway,
Yeah. So yeah, so I guess that's it. I guess we did gun control.
yeah, it's fixed.
It's fixed. We know how to do it now. We just need to do it. Um but yeah, do leave your comments. Agree, disagree, just throw something completely other than what we said here out there that is an agreement or disagreement. We love to see it. And like next
I have
month
no
is our
idea.
Halloween episode.
Oh, is it?
Next month we're doing ghosts, um, ghosts and hauntings. I don't remember the
Oh
full.
shit.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
way more
that's
fun than gun
yeah.
rights.
Next month we're gonna have fun.
That we could
Next
just
month we're gonna
bullshit our
get
way through that.
creepy as hell. Because I know we both have some actual ghost stories from
Yeah,
our lives.
yeah.
So that should be a really fun one.
I've got more ghosts
Um,
than I did back then.
you what?
I've got more ghosts than I did back then.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. You've been
Lots of my
collecting
family
them.
has died.
Yeah, oh no, I've got some of those stories too. I've got
Yeah.
family ghost stories. Oh, so anyway, it's gonna be
It's
a
gonna be
good one.
fun.
Totally different tone, no doubt. I mean, you'll be scared,
Yeah, we're
but
gonna do a seance
you'll
and
be
bring them all
scared
back.
in an entertained sort of way, or
Now
you
joining us on this
know.
podcast, Matt's mom
We should get both our moms on the podcast through
from
a
the other
Ouija
side.
board and make them fight.
So yeah,
No.
tune in for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Until then,
Um,
don't shoot each other.
yeah, and don't shoot us,
Don't
and we
shoot
won't
us.
shoot you.
No, we
I
won't.
think that's a nice agreement.
That's
You
the
don't
new
shoot
golden
us,
rule.
we won't shoot you.
Yeah, that's gonna be the Texas motto here pretty soon.
Right.
The
All
friendship
right.
state.
I like it. All right. Well, I've been Glenn,
I've been Matt and will continue to be.
and this has been Autodidactica, and will continue to be. And we'll talk to you next month with ghost stories.
Bye.
Bye.